Hello, Marks. Lyssie and Dylan here. Well, Dylan. And we're here to talk about wrestling. That's why this podcast is called Talkin Wrasslin. We're going to talk about wrestling. I don't think we get into much of a debate on this episode. To say it's a chill episode is maybe not the best words to use, because towards the end, we get into something that we needed to talk about, and it gets a little heated on my end. Well deserved, if you know the story. But anyway, I'm the host, so I get that's why you're hearing me. Let's talk wrestling. Hello. Hi. Dylan here. And Lyssie. Say hi, Lyssie.
Hello.
And welcome to Talkin Wrasslin.
Again.
Yes, again.
Hopefully again.
Everything.
Unless
yes.
it's your first time. Then welcome for the first time.
Yes. Welcome for the first time.
That's how it typically works.
Yes. We got things to talk about, wrestling things. We got news. We're gonna talk a little bit of Raw, a little bit of NXT, Dynamite, SmackDown, Collision, and Rampage. And I'm the host. I get to pick wrestler of the week. We have the 2004 draft lottery in the background. You can't hear it because of copyright reasons, but we're watching the 2004 episode of WWE Draft Lottery. So that's fun.
We just watched Vince McMahon's limo get exploded. Also.
Yes, we decided to do a little throwback to our hometown.
Yeah, so the one show that neither of us went to.
I'm kind of... I've been on a weird kick of watching, like, Ruthless Aggression stuff, so... Yeah. So, anyway, Lyssie, how was your week?
Eventful.
Yeah.
Because of you.
Oh, yeah.
Which we'll talk about in a little bit, but
I'm falling apart, guys.
I want to talk about the positives.
Yeah, let's talk about the positives.
Let's talk about the positives. I got my scapegoat shirt in. I don't think I got it in when we recorded last time. I know I talked about my jacket last time because I finished that. But that came in, so that was super cool, super fun. Weird work week because of events happening again that we'll talk about in a second.
I'm falling apart.
But aside from that, today we got tickets to Collision.
We're gonna be Collision Cowboys.
We're going to maybe, hopefully, probably, possibly be on camera, because I got my very first ever. Well, I don't know about your first ever. Definitely for Dynamite, but for wrestling, or not for Dynamite, for Collision. But like overall, first ever floor seats to a wrestling show.
I think it's my second time. I think I had floor seats for a house show.
Yeah.
Once before, but yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, so
it's gonna be fun.
I was looking at the tickets on the because this is the show down in Allentown, and it's in the PPL Center or something. So you can't use Ticketmaster. You have to use their website. So, and the website was giving me all sorts of fucking issues. Obviously, lots of tickets were sold, and there were some available, which weren't bad seats that were available. But nonetheless, like every time I was trying to pick one, I picked two seats that I thought were really good for a good price, and then it gave me an error, and then any other seats I tried to pick, like the website was just glitching out, freaking the fuck out, and it would like have everything set up and be like, okay, go to checkout. And then when I tried to go to checkout, the whole website, like, just was bugging. Like, it kept refreshing. It wouldn't actually display anything. It wasn't showing anything. I don't know if it's because I was trying to use my phone and not the internet on a computer, but I was trying to use my phone, so I don't know if that was the issue.
Yeah, maybe you should have, like, switched it to, like, desktop version or something.
Maybe, but honestly, I'm glad I didn't, because I was like, you know what? I remember a little Marky told me once. Legitimate name is Mark, my friend, my coworker.
I think he gets mentioned like at least once.
At least once an episode, I say something about Mark. But a little Marky once told me that he uses StubHub for any show, concert, wrestling show, whatever that he goes to, because sometimes people give like really good prices. And, you know, as the event gets closer, sometimes they're cheaper. Now, obviously, these tickets just went on sale and the event's not closer, but I didn't want to wait because I'm impatient. So I went on StubHub, and some nice person, whoever you are, that I bought your tickets, thanks, because seriously, fucking thank you. Whoever this nice ass fucking person is, had tickets, on the floor, like row 4. So I'm assuming this is 4 back from the front. I could be wrong, but just I'm assuming it's 4 back from like the very front, for like $100 each, and I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, I want those seats. Give me those right now. So I got them, and yeah, again, whoever, thank you, because super fucking awesome. Don't know if it was from an individual person or if it was from like a company type thing. I don't know. But whoever, thanks for the fucking good price, because floor seats are normally pretty pricey to begin with. Because there were ones on there for the very front row, which is why I think we're 4 back.
This is also a small venue too.
It is a small venue, but there was ones for the very front row that were like $400 a piece. And again, I know that's resale price. Yeah. It's not what they'd like probably initially go for. But yeah, I can't complain. So I'm pretty excited. That'll be really fun. Hopefully I will make an appearance on AEW TV, not you, me. No, hopefully we'll make an appearance on the AEW television, and that'd be really fun. So I'm excited for that. We've never been to a Collision before. We've been to many Dynamites. We've been to Full Gear, but we've never been to a Collision yet. So I'm hoping the card's good, and I'm hoping it's a fun show. I think it'll be a fun show regardless. We never have had a bad time in an AEW show, really. So I can't complain too much about that. But yeah, aside from that, I mean, you know, my selfie got good traction on the Twitter. And then another one of my posts got good traction on the Twitter, but for other reasons. And I pissed off a bunch of people.
Oh, we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
We'll get into that.
But that's funny, and I love that. I love pissing off people on the internet. It's one of my favorite pastimes when I'm bored. But Dylan, how was your week?
It was a train wreck.
Yeah. It was.
I thought I was dying a lot. I definitely have some sort of anxiety, so that's cool.
Pretty crystal fucking clear to begin with, but yeah.
So that's cool. I had this like weird problem with my eyes, so we had to go to the eye doctor, figure all that shit out. I'm fine.
Everything's Gucci, I think.
We're in the process of figuring all of that shit out and everything. We'll be going back in like 2 months, a couple days before Collision and everything, so we'll be figuring all that shit out. Knock on wood that it's nothing serious. It doesn't seem like it's nothing serious.
No, the doctors weren't. So basically,
you can explain it
yeah,
better.
So basically, Dylan...
I'm sick and tired of talking about it.
Dylan was seeing like double.
Yeah.
Like double vision type of thing.
For the record, I'm 23 years old. I've been wearing glasses since I was 16 months old and had eye surgery when I was 20 months old. So
I was 20 months old. I've been telling people it's been 16 months.
No, I started wearing glasses before.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I was cross-eyed when I was a baby, had to get eye surgery. So when something serious happens with my eyes, I take it very fucking seriously.
Oh yeah, I feel like you should. But basically, Dylan was seeing double, and he said it started like, so he went Wednesday, and he said it started like late at night on Tuesday, but he was like, well, I'm tired and everything, so it could just be something like that. He woke up, he went to work the next morning. I think it was about 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm dead fucking asleep.
Yeah, I only went to work for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I'm dead fucking asleep, and my phone's ringing. And like I open my eyes and I see like Dylan's name pop up and everything, and I'm like, what now? What now? And I'm like, probably in the most unenthusiastic way, just go, yeah. And immediately on the other end, Dylan's like, I need you to wake the fuck up right now. I need you to meet me outside the apartment in like 5 minutes. I'm on my way home from work. We have to go to the eye doctor. I'll explain everything later. And I immediately just, like, threw the fucking sheets off me, got up, I think I put a hoodie on, and I put my shoes on, and just, like, I mean, I got, my wallet and everything. My wallet's, out with my keys, so... You
had pants on.
Yeah, I didn't get changed from my pajamas. I just jumped out of bed, I put shoes on, put, like, a fucking hoodie on, got my hat, got my keys, got my fucking wallet, just out the door.
Mind you, I'm seeing double. And I go to my boss, I explain everything, they're like, yeah, go home, like, do what you gotta do, figure it out and everything, like, understandable. I'm driving home.
Yeah.
while seeing double. Not probably the smartest decision.
No.
And I call my eye doctor as I'm driving.
Yeah.
I'm calling my eye doctor as I'm driving, and they're like, we can get you in at like 8:40. It's 8 o'clock.
It's 8 o'clock.
And I'm coming over the bridge, like where we live. Like I'm 2 minutes away.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we can get you in like 20 minutes. I'm like, okay, yeah, bet. Sounds good.
Because your eye doctor's not far either.
Yeah.
So I run down to my car. As I'm getting down there, Dylan's already there.
And mind you, I've had this issue seeing double before, which we'll get into.
Yeah, in a little bit.
Yeah.
So Dylan walks up to me. You know, we get in my car, and again, I've been up for 5 minutes maybe, and I'm like, all right, let's fucking go. So he starts explaining what's going on to me, that he started seeing double last night, that he's like it's still going on today, but his vision's clear. It's just on occasion he's seeing like two of one thing.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay. He tells me, you know, I've had this issue before in the past, one other time in the past, and it was his prescription was fucked up. So basically, what happened, like they sent you the wrong prescription is what it was.
Pretty much. So
they sent him the wrong prescription, his glasses. He had this happen, got it fixed, didn't have it happen again. Now it's happening again. So there's the history of this situation that has occurred. While we're driving to the eye doctor, which is maybe not even 10 minutes away, Dylan's rattling off all of these things that could possibly be wrong with him, including death. And including but not limited to death.
I'm like, I'm fucking dying.
Yeah, he's like, I'm dying, I'm having a stroke, I'm having an aneurysm. I saw a commercial the other day about aneurysms, and I think I'm having one. And I'm like, I'm like, chill out. Because I get it that it's scary, trust me.
Yeah,
I for the record, also, I have 20/20 vision. I'm the only person, I think I'm the only person in my family that doesn't have to wear glasses. I don't know where I came from. I have 20/20 perfect vision. So I agree that if something just started going wrong with my vision when I know I've been able to see perfect my entire life, I'd freak the fuck out too. So I can't blame him on it. But I'm like, chill out. We are not even at the doctors yet. We are not doctors. They'll tell us what's going on. So we get there. I'm not waiting there for too long, really, at all. We go back. Tell the nurse or whatever what's going on, and then, you know, your eye guy comes in, and they do like the little like numbers and letter thing, and he looks in your eye and tells you to like follow his finger or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was all they really did. They didn't do anything else, right?
No, they literally were like, yeah, do you have a family doctor? Which I don't.
No.
Because I'm irresponsible and stuff. But they're like, yeah, it might be high blood pressure or diabetes.
So what they said initially, what it was something called fourth nerve palsy.
Yeah. Which
is like like a side effect or can be caused by high blood pressure, diabetes, and what was the third thing? That was like head trauma or head trauma. And the guy was like, yeah, you have like the textbook definition for this. This is exactly what it is. But they didn't seem overly concerned about it. And when I say overly concerned, like, we went out and they were like, so we're going to have you have a follow-up with like a different eye specialist type of thing, as long as we can get you in within the week. So it wasn't like, within that on its own, it wasn't like this overly urgent situation. However, I'm supposed to be at work in like 2 hours, and I'm like, well, here's the thing, right? I would like to know what's going on and get this sorted now. And also so I can just be like, I'm not coming into work, which I didn't go into work. So basically, we were like, well, we'd rather figure this out now because this is like important and we don't want to be waiting on it. And if there's something seriously wrong, like, I'd rather not be taking him to the fucking hospital. Which ironically enough, we kind of ended up at a hospital. But
it was weird.
Yeah, so they were like, okay, well, we can get you in today at 1:30 at, there's a hospital that's about like an hour
away. Well, I wouldn't say, it was like
it was a specialist doctor large area.
Yeah, that's
but it's, you know, it's a 24-hour care, like, place, and they life flight people there. So it is an emergency center type thing.
I didn't get life flighted.
Yeah, no, we didn't get life flighted. But they're like, we can get you in at like 1 or 1:30, whatever it was, at this place, and it was like an hour away. So we're like, okay, whatever. You know, tell my boss, tell our family what's going on. Dylan gets in contact with his mom. and they're chalking it up closer to high blood pressure because it's something that runs in their family.
Yeah, like I was going through like my whole like
family
history
and
with
everything,
shit, and it was like, okay, it probably is high blood pressure or something.
So we're like, okay, that seems like the more likely situation, because if it was diabetes, there would be other things going on, and head trauma, I can almost guarantee you, would have been something that would have happened immediately, and not like you had a concussion in high school type of thing.
Yeah.
You know, like this probably would have been like you hit your head, now you're seeing double, so you got head trauma.
And I've had concussions in the past, but
long ago,
where like maybe the only underlining effect is, but fun fact, you can't prove that someone has CTE unless they're dead. Fun fact.
There's no other thing in brain scans that you could do?
I think you can, but it's more so, it comes out more so when you're dead.
Well, nonetheless, Dylan's going through all the possible things that could be killing him right now.
Yes.
And I'm like, dude, eat your hash browns, because we went to McDonald's. Eat your hash browns, calm down, don't panic about anything right now, because sure, they said this thing, and it could be this, but we're going somewhere else where it's more advanced, and they'll be able to tell us what's going on. So, you know, we're chilling at home for a little bit, until we end up going. Take the wild ride down there. It's this weird bumfuck area that I've never been to in my life.
It's a weird area.
So take the drive down there. The entire time, Dylan's, again, analyzing how he's going to die. And as we're driving, I'm, you know, like being like, okay, well, is your vision good now? Is it good now? Because Dylan was also saying he can see it while it's like on occasion, but then sometimes it goes away and he doesn't see it. So just trying to, you know, keep up with what's going on. Anyway, we get there, we get checked in, talk to the nurses and whatnot, you know, wait around for about an hour. They call us back, and they do pretty much the same thing that they did at the eye doctor, but then they also put these, like, different little, like, lenses in front of his face. It was, like, in, like, a strip. And one thing that they noted was that Dylan's left eye is, like, slightly drifting off a little bit.
I have a Shawn Michaels eye.
Yeah, it's like he has, like, a very, like, minor, like, lazy eye type of situation going on when his glasses are on. But when his glasses are off, they go back to being straight. So with his glasses on, they're putting these lenses in front of his face, and I'm watching and listening to everything that's going on, because Dylan's eyes are already fucked, so he definitely needs a second set of eyes as to what's going on from what he can't see. So I'm, like, watching and seeing what's going on. As they're putting these lenses, like, further down, I'm noticing his eyes starting to straighten out, and it's not moving at all. It's not drifting. So that is an interesting piece of information in my head. Basically, long story short, the doctors there told him, we don't think it's fourth nerve palsy at all. We really don't think it's that or anything along those lines. Basically, they're like, it is either a situation with, like, your eyes adjusting to your prescription or whatever. But they're like, it's either something that's going to go away on its own, and could take up to 2 months for it to fully go away. But it's either something that's going to go away on its own, or worst case scenario, your prescription's wrong, and you just need a new prescription.
Yeah.
So, basically, they're like, and I still, with the fact that your eye was, like, getting straight, I still think it's your prescription, just based off of seeing that. Now, that's not going to say it's not going to go away, but I still think that within the time frame, even if it does go away and we go back up to that follow-up appointment, you know, maybe still mention it to them. But yeah, so basically, they're like, your fucking eye doctor's an idiot, and should have checked this, but didn't check this, and sent you all the way up here.
Yeah.
The only other thing they're doing is they are sending him for an MRI, but they're not really too concerned about it either. They're kind of just doing it to say that they did it, you know? They're like, you have no past neurological issues, you have no signs of anything like that, but we're just going to send it to you just to kind of cover all the bases, and that's really that. So, I mean, it's fucking wild. Just fucking wild.
I think if something was wrong with my head, I'd be having pounding headaches left and right.
I think there would be other symptoms than just, like, your eyesight. And also, like, you know, like, there would be more going on, or something worse would have happened by now. You know what I mean? Like, so and the fact that you had 2 doctors coming in and, like, talking to you about it. Like, there was the younger guy, and then the other guy that worked with your surgeon who did your surgery when you were a kid.
Yeah. Which
is crazy.
I didn't even fucking know him, bro. He was like, "You remember me?" I'm like, "No."
Like, I was a baby.
I don't fucking remember.
But yeah, so you had two different people telling you, two different people there telling you the exact same fucking thing, and both being in agreement with it.
Yeah.
So, and again, it's the higher up, like, specialty place. So that's why I'm like, I trust these people a little bit more than the eye doctor that we first went to, just because it seemed like, it also seems like eye doctors kind of whack up shit a lot, because, like, again, I don't go to eye doctors, but I've never had an issue where I felt like I needed to, but I was talking to my coworker Pat about it, and he was telling me a story about how he got this new prescription, or new glasses or whatever, and his one eye, he was seeing out perfectly clear, but his other eye looked a little bit blurry. And he was going back and forth with these doctors, like, for weeks, at least, like, 3 or 4 weeks. He was going back and forth with them, and they thought he was lying. And he was like, dude, I'm not lying. Why would I lie about one of my eyes being blurry? Like, I don't, why would I be here?
Yeah, why would,
So, basically, he went to, I think he ended up going to eye care specialist, where you go. And I guess the doctor was just, like, talking to him about it. He's like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck is wrong. So the doctor took the glasses off of him, was looking through it, and he's like, oh, is it your left eye? And he was like, yeah. He flipped the glasses around and put it up against his face, and, like, backwards, and was like, does that look clear? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, they put your prescription in backwards. And he's like, what? And he's like, yeah, so it's supposed to be, like, this number over this number, but they did it backwards.
Dear eye doctor, fucking be smarter, goddammit. You have to go to fucking college for this shit. Like, you guys are dumb as fuck.
And the thing is, for 3 to 4 weeks, how did nobody think maybe look through the lens? Like, I don't know. Again, I never had to worry about anything like that, so I don't know all the specifics that go into it. But yeah, that's fucking insane to me. That was like, are you fucking serious? It took you 4 weeks to find someone to be like, oh, it's backwards. They put your lens in backwards or whatever, your prescription in backwards or something. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. But yeah, Dylan's been saying that as the time has gone on since Wednesday, it's Sunday now, that it's getting better.
It comes and goes.
Yeah.
It comes and goes.
But you're saying that, like, now, like, you could just blink or, like, rub your eye and it kind of just fixes itself.
Yeah.
So that's good. So it's not getting worse, which is great. It's not really staying stagnant, which is great. So hopefully it does just kind of fix itself. I still think it's important, though, to talk to the doctors up there about the prescription.
Yeah.
Possibly. Just because that little thing that I noticed. Again, I'm not a doctor. I don't know shit.
I'm sure they noticed it, though,
but
too.
Yeah, they probably did. So I would just bring it back up again and be like, hey, why was my eye straight when you did that? And I'm sure it's supposed to be like that. So can we discuss it a little bit? However, aside from your eyes, how was the rest of your week? Anything fun, interesting happen?
Well, I'm almost a week clean of cigarettes, so that's cool.
A week clean.
I quit cold turkey,
which is still wild to me that one day you're just like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking insane.
I also thought maybe, like, the eye thing could have been, like, a problem with it, but
yeah,
I haven't craved. I haven't got, like, I don't know. It's just weird. Like, I know, like, everyone's different. Like, I've heard a bunch of different stories from people quitting. Like, oh, I had to put the patch on, or oh, like, I had to quit cigarettes and go to vaping, which I've done that before, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, I'm stuck vaping now.
And then,
like, I haven't smoked a cigarette in months, and I'm just stuck vaping.
And then there's, like, my dad used to smoke, and he quit cold turkey one day. Mm-hmm. And I guess maybe it's a genetic thing. I don't know.
You are a lot like your dad.
Yeah. So. But I came home from work one day, had a cigarette, and it was the last one in the pack. I threw the pack away, and I was like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of feeling like shit every time I smoke cigarettes. And plus, like, my teeth aren't the best. I'm having a problem with my teeth as well. We already know what that problem is. It's wisdom. Yeah. It's wisdom teeth and shit and whatnot. So, kind of just trying to I guess, have a healthy lifestyle.
Well, yeah, because I mean, like we were talking about this the other night, like because me and Dylan like have smoked for about the same amount of time. I mean, technically, I guess even though I'm vaping, like I'm still intaking nicotine longer than you are. But we both started smoking when we were 14, 13, 14.
Yeah, I didn't start heavily smoking like until I was like 16.
Oh, okay.
17.
Well, 13 or 14 is when I started.
Obviously, you dabble in it. We're like, hey,
yeah.
like, hey.
I started smoking when I was around 13 or 14. And
sorry, Mom.
Yeah, sorry, Mom, if you're... Actually, I don't care. Mom, if you're listening to this, there you go. There's your answer
Your
to it.
mom.
Yeah, it's my mom.
My mom, sorry.
If you're listening to this, well, that's how you found out. But anyway.
You already knew, Mom, but still, sorry.
Yeah, but,
be happy that I quit.
Yeah, so... But the thing is, like, Dylan was talking about the one day, and he was like, well, smoking, it's not good for your teeth type of thing. And I was like, well, has your family had, like, has any part of your family had, like, a bad history with teeth? Because, like, the worst thing that I've ever had happen to my teeth was, A, I needed braces, and B, I chipped my tooth falling off of a bike once. And obviously, your tooth isn't supposed to hit blacktop. So that's pretty, you know, that's kind of normal, a normal situation that happened.
I've also, to be fair, I've also been wanting to quit for well over a year now because my grandmother died of lung cancer.
Yeah.
So... kind of like that, kind of, not gonna lie, kind of fucked me up.
Kind of scared you a bit.
You kind of like, oh fuck, like and she was a heavy smoker and smoked like all of her life, so it was like, maybe I should quit.
Yeah. Basically, like, smoking didn't fuck up my teeth. Like, I've never had a cavity. I've never had major problems with my teeth. Even my wisdom teeth are growing in straight. You know what I mean? Like, I have, aside from chipping my tooth on blacktop, which I chipped half of it off, so I'm missing half of a front tooth, but, you know, it's filled.
Yeah.
And needing braces to straighten them out. I've never had issues with it. So cigarettes never really did anything. But if your family has had, like, a bad history with teeth, it's a genetic thing. So that's also why I'm like, yeah, it's not good for your teeth to begin with, but if you have past bad history already, it's just gonna fuck it up worse. So, you know, it's like... You got to kind of weigh the good and the bad out of things, and like with, again, for me, if it's not fucking anything up with me, then I don't have a reason to be stopping. Aside from I just don't want to be smoking cigarettes anymore. But with you have other underlying things that could be going on. So
I can tell you that I feel a lot better.
Yeah. I mean, I feel better vaping than I do. I mean, I don't feel great vaping, but like I feel better vaping than I did smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, I do feel a lot better. Taking it day by day, but I needed to quit.
Yeah.
And I mean, I already know what's wrong with my teeth. It's the wisdom teeth. They need to come out and shit.
Yeah.
And I have to wait until like July or something for the dentist or whatever, but that's besides.
But they're not bothering you now.
No,
so
like
I'm
not in agonizing pain. I can talk, and eat and stuff, so it's kind of just a waiting game at this fucking point.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, that's
It's been a hectic week.
Yeah, it's been a really weird fucking week. But we're going to Collision.
We're going to Collision.
Yay!
We're going to SmackDown in a few weeks.
We're going to SmackDown in a few weeks. That'll be fun.
Yeah, so it'll be fun. We're going to wrestling shows again, and I'm sure we'll maybe make an attempt to try to go to Full Gear in November.
I want to go to Full Gear so fucking
because
bad.
It's coming back to New Jersey, so
Newark is such an easy drive for us.
It is an easy drive.
It's a nice arena. And honestly, even, like, I don't even think parking was really that bad. Parking wasn't bad. It was kind of a dick to get out. But it wasn't terrible. Like, once we finally did, it was, like, we didn't have to deal with any really major traffic.
If we could park, what was Full Gear that one where we were able to park in that one parking lot?
That was across the street. So, because it's at the Prudential Center. The first time we went to the Prudential Center,
we were in the parkade.
We were in the parkade, which I don't think we were supposed to be. I think we accidentally got in there.
With a bunch of other people.
Because, okay, when we went for Full Gear, and I don't know if it was just because it was different, because the first one was a Dynamite.
I'm happy we did, because it was January, and we were inside
oh my God,
waiting.
Yeah.
Like, we were, like, in this, like, hallway waiting, so.
So, when we first went, it was for a Dynamite, and we got into this parking garage. And then we went for Full Gear. The parking garage was, like, strictly VIP. Or, like, you know, like, the Platinums, like, the Platinum Passes, probably, or something like that. So, I don't know if that was just because it was the pay-per-view, or whatever. But yeah, so we got into the parking garage the first time. The second time, we got into the parking lot that was across the street from the venue, which great because the road was like the road that we had to cross was directed by like everyone directing people into traffic and then blocking the rest of the road off and everything. Like it was easy to just walk across the street. We didn't have to really worry about getting hit by a car.
Like Darby Allin.
We'll talk about that. So that was great. The only thing that did suck was it was November and we were outside in the cold waiting.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, yeah, the price of the parking wasn't bad. I think it was like, what, $30?
Yeah, something like that.
I think it was like $30, so it wasn't like, I mean, I get it, that's expensive, but it wasn't like egregious, you know, so, and it was right across from it, so I was like, I don't mind paying the $30. And I think the first time we went, we didn't have to pay parking in the parking garage, or it was very fucking cheap. Like, I think it was like, if anything, like $15. It was super fucking cheap. But yeah, I know Newark isn't like, it's, you know, a lot of people say it's not a great area and whatnot. But I mean, honestly, the arena's nice, and it's a nice little, like, area that they have for everything, so it feels all very central.
Yeah.
Which I like a lot when going to shows and parking. Like, I'm hoping that the show at the PPL Center has a parking garage or something, like, very close by, because I don't want to be parking my car super fucking far away. Even though, like, Allentown, I'm cool walking around in. Don't mind it at all. But, like, the Philly show that we went to for AEW, like, where we parked, even though it wasn't far from the venue, I was like, all right, I'm a little nervous because we're in, like, a real weird part of Philly, and I'm not too comfy cozy right now. Like, and we've been to, like, different areas in Philly that I've been, like, great walking through, and I'm like, this is fucking awesome. But then there's just some parts I'm like, I'm scared. I'm a little nervous right now. I'm walking around with a fucking jacket that has tassels on and a giant fucking sign, looking like a fucking dork. Like, someone's just gonna pick me up and walk away with me. Like I am nervous. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited. I'm very excited, and it also gives us an excuse to go back down to Allentown, and area, like, the surrounding areas that we just haven't gone to in a while. So, yeah. You know, you'll get White Castle out of the deal. So,
I will. I love White Castle.
But, yeah. Anyway, enough about our week. I'm sure we've talked way too much about it now, and the people here that are watching and listening are probably like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, we went a half hour on that.
Yeah, I can talk. People are probably like, shut the fuck up and get into the wrestling news. So, Dylan, take us into the news.
Let's go into the news. Let's start with an unfortunate thing of Cameron Grimes being released from WWE.
Bullshit.
Man, that's sad.
Fucking bullshit. Did you know that 5 days before his release, they were like, you don't have to worry about your job.
Yep.
And then they fired him.
Yeah. It sucks. It's like Jinder Mahal. I know we talked about Jinder Mahal being recently released too and whatnot. It sucks when someone gets released and everything, but they'll definitely find work. And with the whole FTC thing of banning 90-day compete clauses, I don't know if it's fully infected now,
or if they're just like in the process.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but I could see Cameron Grimes going back to TNA. He was originally in TNA as Trevor Lee. Mm-hmm. That's his shoot name.
There's a lot, like, I don't pay a lot of attention to NXT, really, like, being completely transparent.
Yeah.
We'll watch some of the pay-per-views that show up, but, like, NXT I don't really watch.
We watched NXT this week. We're going to talk about it.
We did?
Whoop that trick.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But the few times I've seen NXT and watched it, I always really fucking liked Cameron Grimes.
Yeah.
Like, very good in the fucking ring. Like, absolute phenomenal fucking talent. And they brought him up to the main roster. And I was really fucking excited when they did, because it's like, I really liked what I saw of him in NXT, and I'm really excited to see what they do with him, because he's such a good fucking talent.
Yeah.
And they did quite literally nothing aside from put him in, 3 squash matches?
Yeah, I was going to say, Braun squashed him.
Yeah.
Cameron Grimes squashed someone, too, in, like, 6 seconds or something. But, like, Braun Breaker squashed him, I think.
They put him in, like, a handful of squash matches, and that was it, and then they released him. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? I was so... And, like, I was saying for months, whenever we had, like, because he was on SmackDown. I don't even know what fucking show he was supposed to be on.
Yeah.
But he was on SmackDown, and as we were watching, like, WWE, I'm just sitting here and I've been saying to Dylan for months now, I'm like, where the fuck is Cameron Grimes? Where the fuck is he? When are they going to do something with him? Because I want to fucking see more of him. And, like, I mean, I know we can always go back and watch NXT and watch the stuff he's done over in NXT. And, like, I kind of regret not watching it, like, as much knowing that I liked him.
To the moon.
You know, like, I'm like, I kind of wish I, like, paid more attention and appreciated him, like, for what we had him for, like, when he was on the fucking television.
Yeah.
But I was really hoping that they were going to just fucking push him to the moon. And they didn't. And I mean, the thing is, I'm not worried for him because he is good. And I think he's going to get picked up somewhere and he's going to do fucking great. Like, it's not like he's never going to fucking find a job now. But it's so fucking disappointing. And then hearing that he was told 5 days before he got released that he's never going to have to worry about his job.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucked, man. Like, that fucking sucks. But you'll be fine whether you go by Cameron or Trevor, wherever you end up, man. Like, you know, I'm angry for you. That's really it.
I just have a feeling he might go back to TNA because he's friends with Matt Hardy.
Yeah, I could see it.
And I can see it. And he was a good fit there as Trevor Lee.
I would be worried he'd get lost in the shuffle in AEW.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, again, it's one of those things where it's like, just because WWE released them doesn't mean that they need to pick them up, because I feel like they also would not know what to do with them.
Yeah.
So, if he was like Gucci over in TNA and he knows people over in TNA, I think it might be a good fit for him. I just hope that whatever the fuck is going on over there, he's, you know,
with their 500 pay-per-view buys.
Oh man, poor TNA.
Anyway, Drew McIntyre has re-signed with WWE.
Not shocking. I said to Dylan, like, I joked and I went boo. But I would honestly be more surprised with the storyline that they're doing with him. Yeah. I'd be more surprised if he didn't resign.
No, it's good. They have it all set up for him and Punk.
Yeah.
But supposedly Drew's going to be off TV for a little bit because of his elbow injury. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, I hate to be like, well, blessing in disguise, but it is. I mean, the guy that he's technically feuding with is also off TV with an injury, so...
Yeah, so it kind of is an unfortunate way of working
the WWE roster is having an injury bug right now. There's a lot of people out with injuries.
And they need to stop making them work through it.
Yeah.
Because there's been so many reports coming out, like, especially, like, Seth and everything.
I think Seth wanted to.
I don't care if he wanted to.
I think he wanted to get to Mania.
No, I don't care. Look, listen. I love Seth. I love Seth with my whole heart. I don't give a single solitary fuck. If I was in that position, I'd be like, Seth, you are too valuable to me. Absolutely not. You're healing. That it sucks. It sucks a lot. But there's always more WrestleManias to come.
Well, there's also the freak injuries like Rhea.
Yeah,
and Dominic was and Punk was a freak injury too.
And I get that, but like Drew, I think there was reports saying Drew was working through with his elbow and Seth working through with his leg, and
all of this.
And I didn't Rhea, because I think when Rhea and Becky had their match at Mania, Rhea did something to her wrist.
Rhea, I think just like this.
Or Becky did, or no, Becky was sick.
Yeah, Becky was sick. She had the flu game.
Yeah.
And then, Rhea did something to her wrist, like, building up to the match. But I think she was fine.
Yeah, I think it was just, like, a tweak, and she just had a brace on it or something. Yeah. Like, it wasn't, like, of a major concern.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and then Becky, like, was sick. Yeah. She was sick, and I think she was supposed to take time off, and then we'll get into that.
They kind of had the...
Yeah.
That was an emergency call button thing.
Yeah, but...
We'll get into that,
Yeah,
though.
I just, again, it's any company. It's any fucking company. Like, do not make your fucking talent work injured. Just don't. Just fucking don't. I don't care. I don't care about the Mania moments. I don't care about the fucking Double or Nothing moments. I don't care about the Impact Zone, whatever you want to fucking call it. I don't give two single fucks.
How many times did I tell, like, my boys?
Yeah.
Like, yo, if you're hurt, like, I'm not gonna book you.
Yeah, no, just don't fuck it. Like, it ain't about the fucking grind. It ain't about the fucking grind. It's about your fucking health and taking care of your body, and I get it. That, like... But wrestling's not like that anymore. It's not... It shouldn't be like that anymore. It shouldn't be where you have to work 300 fucking days out of the goddamn year and your body's fucking falling apart, but you still gotta put on the goddamn show. Like, no.
Unless you're scheduled to have a hardcore match and you break your foot and You decide to wrestle with a broken foot.
In our defense, we didn't know it was broken.
That was all me though. And
Yeah.
to be fair, the owner of the company, we can't get much into it because it's not released yet, but the owner of the company was like, "Are you okay to work?"
Yeah,
Like,
again,
he was like, "You don't have to if you don't want to." I was like, "No,
know
I will."
You were walking on your foot.
Yeah.
We didn't know your foot was broken. We just thought you maybe sprained it or bruised the fuck out.
And
We had no idea.
And the guy I was working with in the ring worked around it. Too.
Yeah.
I didn't work around it, but
we genuinely didn't know. Like, your foot looked gross and was like bruised to fuck. But, like, you fell down concrete stairs, so we just kind of assumed, since you were able to walk on it, that you just bruised it really bad.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't really think much of it, and you were able to wrestle on it, walk on it. Like, did you drive at all?
No.
Because did you go to work the following...
No,
No, because that's when I went to the doctor.
Yeah, I woke up that next morning, looked at my foot, it was worse than it already was.
Yeah, you're like, this isn't getting better.
And I couldn't even get a shoe on.
Yeah, that's okay. You were like, yeah, we should go to the doctor.
Yeah, because mind you, what helped me walk more was I wrestle in kick pads, and it's already like a cast on your foot.
And also, you never broke a bone prior to this.
Yeah, I never broke a bone, so I didn't know how it felt.
Yeah, and we were always like under the impression if you broke a bone, you'd know you'd break a bone, and you'd be in like this excruciating pain, and he wasn't.
Yeah.
He was just like, oh yeah, my foot kind of hurts because like and it looked bruised, so he's like, oh, I just bruised it, so it is what it is, and he was not in any sort of excruciating pain. I think even up to like when we went to the doctor, you were just like, yeah, no, it doesn't really hurt. Like, it just looks gnarly.
I think I remember, like, the doctor was like, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's the pain scale? I'm like, a 2.
Yeah, and you're like, I'm fine. Like, I'm totally fine.
And they're like, you broke your foot in 5 places. I'm like, oh.
Like, I did.
I'm like, oh, neat.
Well, I didn't feel like I did. Okay.
Neat.
So yeah, there was the biggest warning sign was the bruise, but like,
the whole side of my foot was bruised.
Yeah, it was fucking gnarly, but we were just like, you fell down concrete stairs. I'd be more surprised if you weren't bruised.
Yeah.
So it was, but I mean, it is what it is. At least you weren't out of work for too long, too. So that wasn't too worrisome.
They put me in the boot. I was good.
They put him in the boot. He was on crutches for about 2 weeks. Yeah. And then it was just kind of the crutches he couldn't work with. But once he was off the crutches, they were like, yeah, we'll just sit you down. Like, so.
It sucked sleeping.
Yeah, sleeping wasn't fun, but.
I'd rather break my foot than dislocate my elbow, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you were able to get around and kind of do things easier with a broken foot than a dislocated elbow.
Yeah, I'd rather
crazy.
break my and the dislocated elbow was actually more painful too. Like, it was more painful.
Yeah.
Which is really weird. A broken bone was less painful than a dislocation.
Yeah, it was super weird, but nonetheless,
nonetheless, moving on to the most recent episode of Dark Side of the Ring, which was Sensational Sherry. A great woman. What a crazy life she had.
Yeah.
She literally sacrificed her whole family for the wrestling business, pretty
seriously.
Much. She was the manager for the likes of Shawn Michaels, Harlem Heat. She was a great women's wrestler. Wrestled Moolah. Mm-hmm. We don't want to talk about Moolah much. I don't feel like getting canceled.
It was great to know though that like her son was on the show and was like, I mean, at the start of it, he was like, he's like, I don't blame my mom for what she did and why she did it. I am mad I didn't get to see her as much as I wanted to, though. But he was like, she literally did the best that she could, and she couldn't have had, like, in regards to his stepmom, he's like, she couldn't have had, like, a better woman to help raise me and take care of me. Like, my stepmom's great, and even the stepmom, like, came in at the end and was, like, saying how, like, great of a person Sherry was and how she was awesome and loved her and everything. So, like, it was one of those things where it was, like, unfortunate that she sacrificed her family, but I'm glad her family, like, understood why she did it and has like the love for her and doesn't hold anger towards her for it. That's like very nice and like warm to see.
Yeah, and one of those unfortunate wrestling tales to how it came to an end of drug related problems and everything, and it's sad, it sucks, but my favorite Sensational Sherry moment is Sexy Kurt. And she's in the ring with Kurt Angle.
Sexy Kurt.
she was great. She was a great manager. And the relationship of her and Jake Jake the Snake fucking loves her, man. You could tell. Like, one of those, like, great, like, she was one of those, like, great people in the wrestling business and everything. And the next episode of Dark Side of the Ring coming up on Tuesday is The Sandman. I'm so ready for this episode, bro. I am so ready for this episode. This is the episode that I've been waiting for next to Black Saturday. So this is going to be good.
I kind of got Pat watching Dark Side of the Ring at work. Because the one day I was over there on the I was over on the
what episode was he watching? If you remember, you said Cornette was on there, so it has to be a good one if Cornette was on there.
Maybe like not this past week that just happened, because I was on the piercing side on Saturday all day. But the prior week, I think I just tossed on Dark Side of the Ring because I was like, I'm just fucking putting this on. And I put on the Pillman episode. And I guess at some point he like was paying attention to it. And I think Friday, I walked over, and as soon as I walk in, I'm walking over with my other coworker, Anna, and Jim Cornette's on the screen. She goes, "Lyssie, you can't escape him." And I, like, look at Pat, and I, like, grab a pen, and I'm pointing at the screen. I was like, why the fuck is he on my TV, right? It's not even my TV. I don't work on that side typically. I was like, why the fuck is he on the TV right now? Why is he on here? Get this Southern man off my fucking TV. And... whatever, so we were joking about it. I wasn't paying attention really to what episode that was that he was watching, but on Saturday, yesterday, I was over there, and he put it back on the TV, and I don't know which episode he started at, but we ended up getting to the Owen Hart one, and he, like, I was in the back, curled up on a fucking chair because my stomach was hurting so bad, and I think I was eating a cookie. And I was just sitting back there in the corner, dying, and fucking Pat's at, like, the front of the shop, like, staring up at the TV, and he's like, I don't want to watch this, but I know I have to watch this because this is closure for me. And I was like, what? He's like, I'm like, which one is it? And he was like, Owen Hart. And I'm like, oh. And then it's, like, kind of quiet, and I'm, like, hearing the TV, and I'm hearing JR, and I'm like, oh, we're there. Like, we're there at the moment now.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, so he's standing there watching it, and, like, you know, clearly, like, feeling something about it. And then we just started talking, because he was like, once the situation with Owen Hart happened is when I stopped watching wrestling. Because he was like, I was 14, and I was watching this as this was going on, and it was like two birds, one stone, because this guy that I love is now dead, but also... this was like when it finally clicked with me with JR saying this isn't a storyline, this isn't part of the show, this is real.
I remember Chris, you know Chris, yeah. He was watching the pay-per-view live.
Yeah,
when it was happening too. And like I remember him telling me, he was like, it was the most like weirdest fucking like gut feeling ever, because like you don't see it happen. They cut away from it and everything, but he was like, it was just very fucking like weird, and like it kind of like fucked you up. Like,
like, that's what he said.
And I was like, I can see, and like I'm not gonna lie, JR has a podcast, Grilling JR. Shout out the Grilling JR.
Love JR.
And he's obviously done a podcast on Owen before and all of that, and like explaining. And, like, he'll talk, like, they'll go through, like, pay-per-views, and, like, what I was talking to you about, like, the Bruce Pritchard episodes. Like, JR does the same thing, too. So you get, like, behind-the-scenes, like, information and stuff. And, like, when they were talking about this pay-per-view and Owen Hart, like, just listening to it, you're like, fuck, man. Like, it really, JR had the worst of it, because...
yeah, dude. 9 seconds to prepare?
Yeah, he's dead. And we're back in 3, 2, 1.
And, like,
fuck, man.
So Pat was saying that was the moment that not only did one of the guys he loved die, but that he also connected the dots and find out that wrestling was performative.
Now you gotta tell him to watch the Brawl for All episode just for the Cornette versus Russo shit, because that is funny as shit.
Well, I think I remember as the day went on, the Montreal Screwjob one was also on.
That one's a good one.
I'm just like, oh my god, I have to hear these two fucking buffoons going back and forth. It was my idea. No, it was my idea. Like, no.
Jim Cornette booked the Montreal Screwjob. Shut the fuck up.
I'm just like, oh my god, old men yelling at clouds, shut up. Shut up! I don't care. Brett got screwed.
He did
Fuck.
get screwed.
Like, I'm more concerned about Bret Hart than anything else.
He got screwed.
But yeah, no. So I got Pat watching Dark Side of the Ring now. But he wanted to. He was like, I need to watch the Owen episode because I need that closure from little 14-year-old me to hear everything that was like going on and whatnot. And I'm like, yeah, dude. The biggest thing that fucked me up was hearing JR being like, back in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I always say, like, if you never watched Dark Side of the Ring, the best episode to start off with is the Benoit and Guerrero one. Mm-hmm. That is the best one because that's pretty much what Dark Side of the Ring is about.
Yeah.
But then after that, if you need a palate cleanser of like, I still want to watch this, but I can't have like a dark episode, watch the Brawl for All one.
Yeah.
Because it's not that dark.
Yeah.
And it's just it's Jim Cornette yelling at Vince Russo, and it's funny as fuck. But anyway, we're moving on to good news. Vince McMahon no longer has ties with WWE. He sold his shares.
Woohoo!
Vince McMahon is no longer in the World Wrestling Federation Entertainment.
Woo!
Great. Good.
Amazing.
Great.
Incredible.
Great news.
Fantastic.
As Tony Khan would say, it's great.
It's great.
It's great.
Everything's great about it.
It's great. It was bound to happen to begin with.
Well, yeah.
With everything going on, but he sold all of his shares. It's better off.
Keep him as far away from the goddamn fucking company as he can because he already fucking tainted it.
Hopefully he
so goddamn much.
Hopefully he gets sued. Well, he is being sued, but hopefully
he is being sued. Yes.
Hopefully he goes to jail and rots in prison.
I hope so.
And then next thing leading into this, Nick Khan sells his TKO shares.
But I don't think he's going anywhere.
I don't think he's going anywhere. I think this was
Which he should go somewhere and it's gone.
I think this was just a businessman doing businessman things.
Stupid. Go away. Get him out. Get him out.
I guess we just kind of have to wait and see what that is all about.
Yeah, get him out. Because he was also named in the lawsuit. So get him the fuck out. Get everyone that is named in the lawsuit out.
The lawsuit is just a very touchy type of like, we kind of just have to wait and see where
I know we have to wait and
goes.
See. But fire them. It can't be that hard to just fire them. Like, I fired people.
I'm not trying to defend anyone, but
no.
I think it's just kind of we have to wait and see where everything goes with all of this.
We
shit.
do. However,
it's a messy situation.
I've fired people before. It's not hard. Just tell him not to come. Just tell him not to come back.
I don't think they can fire him when he like owns like a little bit of the company. Well, not anymore.
No, they fired Vince.
That is true.
And he still owns shit.
Well, The Rock runs the fucking joint now.
Yeah, hurry up, Dwayne. Fire him. Do you need help? Because I know how to do it.
Anyway, moving on to really weird. I never thought I would say these words. Congratulations, Nick Nemeth, on becoming the AAA Mega Champion.
Wild. He's just doing shit. He beat
Alberto Del Rio.
Good. Good.
So AAA was having Triple Mania, which I'm hearing was garbage because it's
Triple Mania.
It's AAA. Yeah. Jeff Jarrett was there throwing tortillas at people.
So that's what he's off doing right now. Okay, that's where Jeff Jarrett is.
Vampiro's having a retirement tour, so he's just randomly doing shit. Vikingo had to vacate the title because of his fucking knee exploding.
Yeah.
And then they had Nick Nemeth versus, I didn't even know he was showing up, to be honest with you, versus Alberto Del Rio, which, why is he still in the wrestling business?
Yeah,
because he's a shitbag. But supposedly they had a really shitty match. Nick Nemeth was trying his hardest. Del Rio was blown up at like the 4-minute mark in the match. They went like 16 minutes. Mind you, this match is for the main title in AAA, and it wasn't even the main event. Mm-hmm. It was like mid-match, like mid-card match. But Nick Nemeth is the AAA champion now. So congratulations, Nick Nemeth, just doing shit.
Good for Nick Nemeth.
Just do it. He's the New Japan global champion. He's holding another belt from some other indie promotion, and now he's the fucking AAA champion.
Well, I'm glad he's out there doing things.
He's just doing shit.
Which, good.
He's doing shit.
I'm glad he's going, like, to wherever because that was my thing, like, hearing him leave WWE, because I was never a big Dolph Ziggler guy. But my biggest thing was, like, he was with WWE forever, and it's not that he's a bad wrestler. I just never really got overly behind him. You know, I think he's fantastic in the ring, but he's just,
it's just crazy that, like, obviously, I've seen people have like success from like people that were always in WWE have success outside of WWE. It's all there's people that do have that. Like I guess the best example, since we're kind of like on a TNA kick here, Matt Hardy with broken Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
And everything like that. Like Matt Hardy has been forever in the WWE system, but he's found success outside the WWE system. Or like look at Edge.
Yeah.
Too, like Edge or Christian Cage even.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But like Nick Nemeth has been with WWE since day one. Like he developmental, OVW, all of that. Been there, been with WWE for 20 fucking years. Asked for his release and he bet on himself.
Yeah. And that was always my thing, was I wanted to see him go basically around the world, which is what he's doing.
Yeah.
And learn from learn different styles of wrestling, learn different ways of doing
it. He's my favorite luchador.
Yeah, right. And I'm really happy that is quite literally exactly what he's fucking doing.
Yeah.
Because I always feel like again, it's not like he's a bad wrestler. I just feel like he's capable of more. And that's exactly what he's doing. That's fucking awesome.
He's outside of his comfort zone. Like he's used to one style, but now he's
testing himself.
He's doing stuff in TNA now. I guess Ryan is with TNA now too.
Yeah, because Ryan showed up.
Yeah, he showed up. So I guess that's a thing. But
it'd be cool to see them together.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what they always wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I supposedly I didn't read much into it, but they're supposedly he explained why he didn't join AEW, and it was more so like he wanted to travel and like
well, yeah, that makes sense.
Do different things and whatnot, not kind of be like stuck in like the same place. And like he has more freedom to do what he's doing now while being with TNA.
Yeah, and I mean with AEW, realistically, like the only working relationship they have is New Japan. Which sure, yeah, he could have went over into New Japan.
Yeah.
But he can't go to like GCW or I mean. Do they don't have a AAA? They're not with AAA right now, are they? The AEW?
No, because they have CMLL.
CMLL, that's right.
So the whole CMLL AAA fucking saga is crazy to begin with.
So yeah, like I mean, just being like essentially like more independent, like he could just go do whatever he wants, and I think that's great for him because he has the opportunity to now. So why wouldn't you like capitalize on that?
Moving on to Darby Allin having 9 fucking lives.
Jesus fucking Christ. I don't understand.
So Darby Allin is Darby Allin let's just do a little backstory here. So Darby Allin jumped through a pane of glass at Revolution. And then he was going to go climb Mount Everest. Then he broke his foot in a match against Jay White. And he still has a broken foot, and now he got hit by a bus.
Yep.
Crossing the street in New York City, and then he went to a Broadway play.
Yeah, and he's in New Jersey probably still now doing a meet and greet.
Yeah, doing a meet and greet.
Because I know that was like till 3:00.
So yeah, and this isn't the first time Darby Allin's been hit by a car.
No, like he got hit by a car like last year.
Go ahead, say your famous quote, Lyssie.
If I had a nickel for every time that Darby Allin got hit by a car, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird it happened twice. Like. He got hit by a car, I'm pretty sure it was like last year.
Yeah.
And then I think he wrestled the next day, or the same day.
Yeah.
Or something. And now he got hit by a bus.
And
he's alive, and I don't understand.
How do you get hit by
a he is alive.
Like, I could understand, okay, like, I've never been hit by a car, knock on wood. I don't want to. I don't want to know what that feels like, but twice?
Twice.
How?
And one's a bus.
Yeah.
One's a bus.
And he's still alive.
He might have a broken nose. That's like it.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand how of anything either. I'm sure his foot isn't doing any better now because of it. But of all things that could have happened to you by getting hit by a bus, he's walking with a broken nose.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I just don't. I don't understand how this man.
I don't know how he does it. I don't know if he can die.
He's gonna die from doing like an elbow drop.
He's gonna die from the dumbest shit.
Yeah, like the simplest shit. Like bro can go. Like honestly, he probably won't die from climbing Mount Everest.
No, like so okay. So little side story here, but I'm hoping like Darby Allin does the same thing.
I don't not to be all religious and everything, I don't believe in God or anything, but if there is a God, I think he's telling him something.
I think if there's a God, the reason that the world is falling apart right now is because all of his attention is just directed at Darby Allin being safe. That's it. Like, honestly, he can't focus on anything else. It's just Darby Allin. But when I was getting my sternum tattooed back in 2017, I think it was, I got my sternum tattooed by an artist named Tyler Nolan. If any of you watch Ink Master, he was on Ink Master. I followed his work a lot, and then he was on Ink Master.
Shout out to Dave Navarro.
Yeah, right? And that was pretty fucking cool. And I always wanted to get something done from him. He was at a convention up in Asbury Park, which is not far from us. So I was like, fuck it, this is my only opportunity probably to ever get tattooed by this guy. So I immediately emailed him when I saw that he was taking, like, appointments. Was like, this is what I want a ram skull, black and gray, but aside from that, do whatever the fuck you want with it. I like your geometric stuff, I like patterns, I like literally anything, but, like, do your thing, really. I was like, here's what I like, but if you have a different idea for it, just go fucking bananas, because I want something that you're happy with, that you want to do, this, that, and the other thing, because I love his work, and also, like, you know, if you're, just side note, if you're open with, like, if you're going to a tattoo artist because you like their style, and you basically give them, like, a free reign of a general idea of a design that you want to do, and just give them, like, the fundamentals of, this is where it's going, color, black and gray, whatever, I like things like this, but just do your thing with it. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna be fucking stoked, and they're gonna be like, they will fucking appreciate that shit so fucking much.
And, like, I'm not gonna mention her name. She's not the best person in the world. We've learned that she's a shitbag. But I have a Crash Bandicoot tattoo, and that was kind of like the whole. I was like, I want a Crash Bandicoot tattoo. I told this girl, and
do your thing with it.
Yeah, do your style with it, and it still looks good. She's not the best person though.
No, it looks great.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, you know, if you're open with tattoo artists, like, and just tell them to do their thing, you're gonna get a fucking killer tattoo, hands down. But anyway, long story short, the reason I'm talking about this, I was laying down with this guy. That sounds weird, but I was laying down getting tattooed by this guy for about 7 hours, I want to say, for this piece. So obviously we're going to get talking. And he has, as far as I know, still to this day, he is the only person in America that has ever survived a king cobra bite. And
yeah, because he has, like, snakes.
He has a shit ton of fucking reptiles. You might be familiar with him also on TikTok because he posts a lot about his reptiles and whatnot. But he was bit by a king cobra, and he lost the tip of his finger. It was amputated. But, you know, I mean, he's alive, and that's great, and that's really the most important part. So we were talking about it and whatnot. You know, it got brought up in conversation type thing, and he told me how he has this dedicated shelf at his house for all the times he has almost died. And, like, he has his finger up there. He has a fucking helmet from a motorcycle accident he got into. Like, he has part of the helmet there, and like, he just has a shelf dedicated to times he's almost died. And honestly, I think Darby Allin should do that, because the amount of fucking shit that this guy has gone through, and he is still alive, he's got to have, like, something to be able to take away from it. Piece of the bus. I don't know. Like, a piece of the bus. I don't know.
Can I have the front bumper of this bus? Can I have the bumper?
Like, the amount of things that Darby has gone through and survived is actually ridiculous. So, Darby, I don't think you're ever going to listen to this, but I think...
That would be fucking cool.
I think you should have a dedicated shelf in your house to all the times you have almost died, because it's not only a conversation starter, but I'm sure it's really fucking interesting to look back on. Because of this tattoo artist that had told me he did it.
Now, maybe it's just me. Have you ever, like, met or, like, heard of, like, anyone that you known get hit by a car? I never have. I've never have.
No. Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, like...
I mean, I've had people that I know in car accidents.
Yeah, but, like, I'm just talking about, like, just walking across the street. I got hit by a car. Like, I've never came across...
No, I don't think I've ever met someone who's been hit by a car.
In my 23 years of life up to this point, I've never have come across someone being like, yeah, like, I've known them, like, I got hit by a car.
I feel like if anybody, Kevin...
Yeah?
Tattoo Kevin.
Yeah?
If anybody... Because... Oh, no, you know what? Maybe Bruce has gotten hit by a car. I'm gonna go to work and I'm gonna ask.
Like, I've never really heard or met anyone. So for like the 12 people that listen to this, feel free to comment if you know anyone. Share the stories if you want.
Yeah.
I'm just interested because like I'm sure it fucking hurts and it fucking sucks.
But let alone a bus.
I just want to know.
Like, I don't understand.
I just want to know. Like, I don't want to get hit by a car. Fun fact, though, since we're talking about cars, I think you were there for this. Remember it never got released to the public, but remember Corey and Bryce's storyline that they were doing? And Corey was going to hit Bryce with his car.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, he had to drive down this strip of road.
Yeah.
So, like, our friend Corey, for wrestling, we were doing this thing. They were in a feud or whatever. And so Bryce was crossing the street, and someone was going to come and attack Bryce in this car. And they were going to fucking try to run him off the road. And we had to film this segment, and we were so scared filming the segment because Corey had to drive super fast doing this, and Bryce had to move at the right exact point. It was successful, but man, it was scary.
See, I think you guys could have done it a completely different way.
Yeah.
But
I don't.
You picked the worst way to do it.
I wasn't booking.
Like,
I think it was
you could have had someone with the camera, like, following Bryce out as he's crossing the road, and Bryce being like, no, get that fucking camera out of the way. And then, like, add a fucking sound or something, and then quickly pan back over, and Bryce is in the middle of the road, and the car is taking off.
It took us about 10 times to film it, because it was Bryce, like, trying to work up the courage of, like, fuck, I need to, like, move at the right moment, and he's, like, moving, like, 30 seconds ahead. And I forget who was in the car with Corey, but they had a motorcycle helmet on because Corey had to, like, go.
Yeah.
Like, he had to hit the gas on this.
Why does it sound like that was something Stone would do? Have a motorcycle helmet on?
No, I think it was fucking Zack Xander.
Oh.
I think it was fucking him.
That's also, yeah, that I could see him doing that.
But I just remember sitting there watching this, and I was like,
I'm gonna watch my best friend
die. Like, I'm gonna watch my one friend kill my other friend.
Yeah.
For the love of the game.
For the love of the game.
Because they want to do this goddamn storyline.
Anyway, Darby, best wishes on healing your broken nose, because as far as I know, nothing else is wrong with you.
Yeah.
I mean, insane. Hope you're doing alright. Hope your foot didn't get any more fucked up. If it did, that really sucks. Glad you're okay. And went to a Broadway show afterwards, and all the best wishes to you, buddy.
I want to go to a Broadway play. Fun fact. I really do. I never have. I really do. I want to see, like, Wicked or, like, Grease.
Okay.
I'm a fan of Grease, fun fact.
Anyway, let's...
Go Grease Lightning.
Let's move on to the actual wrestling.
All right, let's talk about Monday Night Raw. A few things that stuck out to us on Monday Night Raw. Let's talk about that. It seems like they're making the King of the Ring tournament mean something again.
Oh, they are?
That's what it seems like. Gunther's going to be a part of it.
I was not paying attention to anything on Raw.
So the whole original concept of the King of the Ring was the winner of the King of the Ring would get a title shot. Uh-huh. And over the years, it kind of just turned into whoever wins kind of just has this king gimmick, and they're fucking the king, and it's a joke. Like Xavier Woods. Booker T was pretty good, I'm not going to lie. He won the world title, though. Baron Corbin turned it into a joke and everything, but it seems like they are adding, like, main event stars to it and everything, because that's, like, they have Backlash coming up, but I think the next thing after that is the King and the Queen tournament.
Yeah.
So it seems like they're making the King of the Ring tournament mean something, and I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, because, I mean, back in the day, it was.
Well, yeah,
you know
like,
what I mean?
Like, Bret Hart fucking won it before. Owen Hart won it. Who else won it? Brock Lesnar's won it.
And Stone Cold?
Stone Cold's won it. That's where the Austin 316 came about. Ken Shamrock's won it before. Kurt Angle, Triple H has won it before. Like, and before that, even before it became like a pay-per-view, like it was kind of like a gimmick thing. Like Macho Man was Macho King.
Yeah. King
Harley Race. Like I always dug the King of the Ring thing. It was fucking cool. I'm happy that they're making it like seem like it's meaningful again. So who better than Triple H to do it? I mean, he's fucking won it before. So
I'm glad that they're gonna be doing that though. Yeah. That's awesome.
And this is gonna be weird from me. Because I like Jim Cornette, and I hate Vince Russo, and we know Vince Russo loves tournaments, bro. He loves those tournaments. I like tournaments when they're done right.
Yeah.
Because it's fun. It's unpredictable. I mean, one of the best fucking Vince Russo booked shows is Survivor Series 98, and it was a whole fucking tournament. So, we just gotta wait and see what happens with it. But
yeah, I mean, it's cool that they're gonna be like, bring it back, though.
Imagine King Gunther.
Christ.
Bro, that's my pick already.
Yeah.
Like, Gunther as the King of the Ring, that is like the stepping stone for him to challenge Cody.
Mm-hmm.
I think Gunther should get... We'll talk about the draft when we talk about SmackDown. I think Gunther should get drafted to SmackDown.
You just want to see him.
Yes, I do. Anyway, moving on. A person that I would love to get drafted to SmackDown as well, but he probably won't. Chad Gable. I love him as a heel, goddammit. He came out and he ran down Otis, Maxine, and Akira Tozawa and was like, you guys fucking suck.
But he's like, but that's why I am here.
Yeah.
But also we're going to focus on me now.
I love it, bro. I love it. He has so much potential. I've always loved Chad Gable, and I'm glad that they're
doing something with him?
Yeah. Honestly, put the fucking Intercontinental belt on him. Sammy has a good run. Let's put the belt on Chad Gable. Please and thank you!
Jesus Christ.
What do you think of Chad Gable?
I like him. You know, again, kind of one of those things where it's like, I felt like the Alpha Academy was just kind of like, it was like a goofy thing.
I'm glad, like, the thing is, you weren't really watching when he was Shorty G.
Oh, yeah, I have no idea about any of that.
So, what he's doing now compared when he was Shorty G.
Yeah.
And if you're a fan of Chad Gable, it's a great, like, thank fuck, man.
Well, okay, like, it's not that I didn't like Alpha Academy. It was just kind of one of those things where I was like, these guys are good. And we're just kind of doing some, like, silly, like, and I mean, again, I like comedy and wrestling, but, like, I don't know. Like, the way that, I sound like such a hater. The way that WWE does it, like, they don't really do it right a lot of the times. At least for me, like, for my taste, they don't do it, like, the way that I like it done. So to me, it just kind of feels like groan, eye roll, all right, whatever. Like, it still just kind of feels like...
It feels forced at times.
It feels forced, but they were in that TV PG era for a very long time. So it kind of had to fall into that, like, kiddie PG comedy type thing where it was just, like, something that I could see, like, a 7-year-old giggling and laughing about. Yeah. But, like, watching it as, like, an adult wrestling fan, it's just like, oh, my fucking God. You know, I get the target audience for this, but, like... Come on, we could do a little bit better. Like, if kids shows could have better innuendos than a wrestling program, like, you know, come on, we could be doing something here.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't really know. Like, so I liked them. I liked watching them wrestle, but anything else that they were doing just felt weird and forced and not really up my alley. So, again, moving away from TV PG, I think is going to do a lot for them. But... You know, seeing him as a heel and seeing him kind of being like this, coming out in suits and everything, you know, all right, I'm here for it. I'll see where it goes. Because again, I like him. He's good.
I think it's eventually gonna lead into, Otis, Akira, and Maxine like getting turned on, and like I want him with the Creed brothers so bad.
Yeah, that's
like,
fair.
It's such a perfect fucking fit.
That's fair.
So just make it happen, god damn it, because oh my god, it would be great. Let's move on to something that, well, I don't agree on. I don't know if you agree with it. So, Rhea Ripley had to vacate the women's title because of a shoulder injury. So, they had a big women's battle royal on Raw for it. I thought Maxine was going to win. I was like, it'd be funny if Maxine or Chelsea Green wins. And
I would have been so happy with Chelsea Green.
Oh, man, I thought they were going to do it.
Chelsea Green!
And then I was like, no, it should be Liv, in all honesty. That's who should have won. But they had Becky win. Which is pretty much them. It's break the glass just in case of emergency. I don't agree with it. I feel like
Tajiri on my TV.
Tajiri has been drafted to Monday Night Raw. Pick number 4. Pick number 4.
I love Tajiri.
Anyway, I feel like the wrong call was made. I think they should have just let Becky have her vacation or whatever.
I get that, but I'm biased, and I love Becky.
I like Becky too, don't get me wrong, but I feel like they should have just put the belt on Liv because
I get it.
Liv injured Rhea.
Yeah.
There's a story there. Put the belt on Liv and just let Liv hold the belt until Rhea comes back. Because there's your fucking story.
I get it. I understand. Yada, yada, yada. I'm biased. I like Becky. I want to see Becky more, so I'm not going to complain about it. You know what I mean? Like, if it means I get to see Becky on TV more, that's great. Do I think she should have had her time off and vacation? Yeah, I feel like Becky's fallen into the mock situation now of just like, I'm never getting my fucking vacation.
Well, Becky's kind of the ace of the women's division.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's break glass in case of emergency for Becky.
And I get it. Like, I know it's going to be a good run and everything. And
yeah.
Not that I don't think Liv would have as well, but also, like, here's the thing, right? Like, I don't know. I mean, are they going to have Becky hold the belt the entire time? Because Becky eliminated Liv. So maybe we're going to get a Becky and a Liv feud going on here. And then Liv eventually takes the belt off of Becky. And then Liv has it for when Rhea comes back. Because, like, I mean, are we going to have Liv hold it all the way until Rhea shows back up in, like, 7 months? Like, no tea, no shade. I like Liv. But last time Liv held the belt, people were groaning about it.
Yeah, it wasn't that good. But
are they going to want to have her hold it for that long?
That was also when she was this baby face.
Yeah.
She's kind of like a crazy fucking heel now.
Yeah.
I think it can work.
I don't disagree with that.
I see a potential in Liv Morgan. That's the thing.
I think that they might have fallen into the, like, okay, last time she held the belt, everyone was like, about it. Even though they were hyped and they were happy when she got the belt, but then when they actually had the reign, they were like, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe to kind of cut the time in half of worrisome for that, they have Becky hold it, they have a feud with Becky and Liv. Liv ends up taking the belt off of Becky, and then Liv has it closer to the time that Rhea shows back up in the event that they're unsure of the fan reception this time around again. At least it's not for that long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which sucks to say, because again, I do like Liv. I just, I don't, that's what I'm thinking might be kind of the cause for it of, people love Becky, let Becky hold it, people aren't going to be mad about Becky holding it for, this time around type of thing. I don't know.
It is what it is, but, I guess we just gotta wait and see.
Again, more Becky, I won't complain ever.
Yeah.
So.
Moving on to NXT, there is 2 things I want to cover quick. I only wrote down one thing. I pissed on my notes. They have the show is called like Spring Breakin'. It was like a spring break episode. I forget who was in the match because I don't watch NXT like on a regular basis, like week by week. I really should because like NXT is pretty good at times. They had like this. It was two women. And they had, like, a weird, like, spring break street fight.
Oh, yeah,
and they were just using, like, fucking weird weapons.
Yeah.
Like, the fucking poles and, like, shit. So that was fun. But the main thing I want to talk about is Whoop That Trick. Trick Williams is the NXT champion. Whoop that trick.
Good for him.
Fuck you, Dave Meltzer, for thinking that he's sucks because he's the NXT champion. And
good for him.
That means... hopefully tomorrow, because we're recording this on Sunday, that we see Ilya Dragunov get drafted.
Oh, yeah, because he was the one he beat, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's already rumors of him coming up to the main roster. So, and him versus Gunther will feed mouths. Trust me. What do you think about Whoop That Trick?
Again, I mean, I haven't seen a whole hell of a lot from him. But I like him from what I've seen. I mean, I think he'll do a really good job, and seems like the crowd loves him a lot, so it seems like he's over as fuck with the fans, so right call.
Trick.
Very right call.
Alright, let's move on to Dynamite. They were in Daly's place this week.
Love a Daly's place show.
Go ahead, say it. Duval.
Duval!
This was a wild episode.
It was the best thing that ever happened to me.
This was insane, but
this episode was the best moment of my life.
Before we get to the big meat and potatoes of this whole fucking thing, let's talk about a few things. So they had a gauntlet match.
Which was fun as fuck.
It was fun. It was fun. Will Ospreay won, and he is now the number one contender for the international title. So we're getting Will Ospreay versus Roderick Strong.
And I think he's going to beat him.
At Double or Nothing. And I hope Will Ospreay does beat him because, oh man. It's really weird that they're like, we're not going to put the main title on Will Ospreay. Like, we're not going to put him in the main event scene, but we're going to put the international title. But I think there's a whole thing to this.
I think that they could actually, have Will... not that Roddy can't, but that they could have Will actually like travel around to different promotions. He's gonna
go to soft ground Uganda.
I hope so.
And he's gonna wrestle. So. He's gonna wrestle that guy that called him out.
That'd be fun.
Or they have a character called Lord White, and you can probably guess what that gimmick is.
Oh no.
Oh yes. Oh yeah, and he's the biggest heel in the company.
Good.
So and like they did so. I don't know if you follow them on Twitter.
I see some of the stuff they post, yeah.
They put a poll up of, like, who do you want to see Will Ospreay face? And, like, Lord White had the most votes, bro. But, like, some other guy, like, the Bull, I forget his name, the Bull or whatever, called him out. Will Ospreay better show up in fucking soft ground Uganda, bro. I love it.
I could see him, like, what was it, Rev Pro?
Well, I don't see. That's the thing. I don't know if he's gonna go back like to the Indies because that was like the whole point of like him starting in AEW in March.
Yeah.
Was like because he wanted to fulfill his indie date. So
I could also see him like traveling and because Pac was the only one who really traveled. I mean, Orange did once.
Yeah.
But like I could see him like going around to like shows here and there and like defending the belt on random shows.
I think Will Ospreay is just gonna bring a lot of value to it.
Yeah.
That's what I think it is. Is he's gonna bring a lot of value to the belt and everything. So. Either way, we're getting Will Ospreay versus Roderick Strong. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, but the gauntlet match was super fun, and I saw a lot of people online saying like this should be something that they do like every year.
I agree. I dug it. It took a minute to like understand what the fuck the concept because it was just really weird. There was no like time intervals or anything, and it was like how many people were in it. You didn't know, and it was.
They kind of just stole the gimmick.
We thought it was over the top rope, but it wasn't. It was
pinfall or submission.
Yeah, it was pinfall or submission. It was only the first pinfall or submission, but it was fun. It was cool.
They kind of stole a little bit of the idea from Mr. Janela.
Yeah, it was kind of the clusterfuck.
It's just death wasn't an option.
Death wasn't an option, or leaving the arena,
or over the top rope.
It was weird, but I dug it. It was
fun.
I agree with it. Honestly, I like it more than the Casino Battle Royal.
That's fair.
Like, they haven't done the Casino Battle... Oh, well, Double or Nothing's coming up, and that's when they usually do it. I think they should do the Casino Gauntlet.
Yeah.
That's what it was called, the Casino Gauntlet. I think they should do a Casino Gauntlet. So, Tony Khan, if you're listening to this with your neck brace on, we'll get into that in a few moments here, but if you're listening to this, no Casino Battle Royal. Do the Casino Gauntlet, because I liked it.
Yeah, it was really fun.
And if I'm giving AEW praise, that means something. And I'm drinking Pepsi, too, Tony. Wink, wink.
We're a Pepsi family, and not because Dylan's a CM Punk fan anymore.
I am a CM Punk fan. Anyway, we need to have a serious conversation about something. And that serious conversation is about Mercedes Moné. Because I'm sorry, she ain't that good.
I wanted to give the benefit of the doubt, right? So I was excited when she debuted because I'm like, this is cool, good for her. And like still to this day, good for her. Cause, the situation at WWE, her walking out and then going out on a singles run, making a name for herself, nonetheless, good for her. She fucking did that shit and she should get praise for that because she does deserve that. However, when I then realized that she showed up to AEW and she wasn't going to be wrestling till Double or Nothing, and there was a pay-per-view prior to Dynasty and she wasn't even wrestling on that, I'm like, I'm a little fucking bummed out because I was hoping she was going to come in and, maybe not have a match till Dynasty. Sure, fine. But then when I found out it was till Double or Nothing, I was like, that's kind of shitty. Like, what are you doing for these 2 months?
Yeah, and I don't know if they still have the rankings or what, but that makes no sense.
I saw, and I don't know, I saw one person say this on the internet, and I don't know if you could pull up the rankings, if this helps at all. But I saw that the TBS belt and the TNT belt don't fall under the rankings.
I kind of...
Because it's on open challenge
I kind of
basis.
figured that's what that was.
Yeah.
It's
just like the world title and what, and like the tag titles and shit. But it does, like the TNT and the TBS title don't like partake in it. But I don't know. I don't know if that's actually accurate or not. Because I also just thought that like if you were ranked 1, you could just get a shot at like whatever belt you want.
So yeah, I'm on the website. This is from August 31st, 2022.
Well, wait, I guess that doesn't really matter because like it should still say, right? Like
no, that's from 2022. Rankings April 6th, 2020.
Okay, there we go.
They're not updated though. Like Samoa Joe's still the champion.
Well, yoink. Let's see. So for the tag team champion, yeah, okay, it still says vacant. But so tag team championships is on here. Oh no, the TBS championship is on here.
Yeah, see, it's just
So
confusing.
yeah, I don't think it really matters. I think it's to whatever belt you want.
They're not updated. That's the thing.
Well, no, I was just seeing like because if this was just world championship and like maybe the international championship, women's championship, tag and trios. But if the TNT and TBS ones were just separate on it, because obviously Adam Copeland's doing the Cope Open.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, okay, that makes sense. He's just doing it on an open challenge basis. Which I thought maybe the TBS one could have also been similar. But if there's rankings for it, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
It's just a confusing mess. But she's just been having bad segments after bad segments. Her promo skills aren't that good. And it goes back to what I said when I don't know if I said it on the podcast, but I know I said it to you. Her promos were never good.
Yeah.
She had a weird segment where she got attacked and she moaned and it sounded like a weird porno. So, not to sound weird, but it did. But it's just... I hate the fact that she's like, I had a life-threatening injury. Bitch, you broke your ankle. Shut up.
I like her as a wrestler.
Like, you know who had a life-threatening injury in the women's division? Fun fact, Saraya.
Yeah.
Like, shut up. You broke your ankle. Calm down, sweetie.
Like, I like her as a wrestler. I think she's great in the ring. But it's just not hitting the way that I thought this was going to be hitting.
She's unfortunately going to beat Willow for the belt.
Yeah, and I don't want her to. Like, again, I like her as a wrestler, but this is Willow's time to shine, man. Like, come on, everyone loves Willow. Everyone loves Willow.
I love Willow.
So for a while here,
when Willow first started, I did not like
Dylan
Willow.
was not a fan, and I'm like, you are so wrong on so many levels for not liking
I thought
her.
it was too much.
I was like, she's great. She's so good in the ring. She's so good on the mic. She's got this fucking great look to her. She got this big fucking cheesy smile.
She grew on
and
me.
She's adorable. And, like, she's so good. She's so fun. Like, that's the whole thing about Willow is she's so fucking fun. And I'm like, you just hate fun. You just hate fun. And as time went on, like, I think first what kind of got you over with her was the pounce.
Yeah.
Because the pounce will always get you over with someone.
The pounce, if you do the pounce, you won me over. It's
So,
such a wild move.
You know, I mean, that was the start of it all. But I've been a Willow fan since day one. I fucking love her.
I like Willow too. Like, Willow's cool. I hope she appears at our Collision taping because
I'll be so happy.
I want to do the dance with her.
I want to dance with her.
I want to do the dance.
Man.
And especially we're going to be seeing on camera. I'll do the dance, bro. I'll do the
Hell
fucking
yeah.
dance.
Hell fucking yeah. I love her.
Let's talk about someone else that absolutely fucking sucks, and that's Chris Jericho.
Okay, here's the thing, right? Like, I think we need to stop talking about Chris Jericho.
With
because
his
the fact
Death
that
Rebel theme.
The fact that we're still talking about Chris Jericho means that the thing that Chris Jericho is doing is working because we're still talking about him.
Yeah.
And I think that every time Chris Jericho comes out, the reception should be the same as Bobby Fish's Where's the Lie promo.
Yeah.
And no one says anything.
He changed his theme to, it sounds like a Death Rebel theme, but it's a Fozzy song. It's called Spotlight.
Where's the Lie? What's the difference?
If you listen to, and Lyssie can confirm this, if you listen to the song, like if you sit down and, I put myself through this hell, guys.
He forced me to also.
If you listen to the song, you understand what it's supposed to be. And that's literally, he's oblivious to everything.
Chris Jericho should have been let go the second that the allegations came out towards
Yeah.
him. And
He's the For the World champion now.
I can't stand him. I can't, like, ever since then, like...
I am the learning tree.
Ever since the allegations, my respect for him has just plummeted. And also, like, my care about him has just plummeted. And it also seems like ever since the allegations, his actual, like, abilities have plummeted.
The last good thing he did, because it's actually popped up on my Facebook memories because we were at these shows, is when he did the Wizard.
Yeah.
Because it actually popped up this morning of, I shared a thing, he threw a fireball in Eddie Kingston's face, and I said, I'll always pop for a fireball.
Yeah.
And there's a tweet out there that is liked by Chris Jericho where I said the Wizard is the greatest gimmick he's ever done, which I will die on that hill because I thought it was fun. I liked the Wizard. I even enjoyed the Ocho when he was the Ring of Honor champion because it was different. I always liked Jericho, but this ain't it, my guy.
No.
I hate it. You fucking suck. You have go the fuck away heat. You don't have go away heat. Go home heat. You have go the fuck away. I don't want to see you heat.
Yeah.
It's no longer X-Pac heat. It's Chris Jericho heat.
It's just bad.
It's garbage.
It's really bad, and it drains the fucking feeling of the show seeing him now. And
yeah.
It's not to say because Chris Jericho, like, I would have argued for the longest time of Chris Jericho being up there with as one of the greats. And it's like, it's one of those things where, like, Chris Jericho has talked so many times about how well he reinvents himself, which I'll always give him that credit because he always does, like, he always knows when a gimmick is, like, kind of getting stale.
Yeah.
And he knows when to reinvent himself, but he talks so much about it to the point where he should know where it's time to hang it up also.
And it does hurt me a little bit because, like, I've had numerous gimmicks over the years of, like, my backyard wrestling career. Like, I had a money gimmick, Sunset Strip Stallion gimmick, the King of the 570, and that was kind of influenced by Chris Jericho of, like, okay, I had a nice run with this, it's getting stale, let's evolve it. Mm-hmm. So it kind of just, it's like, man, like, what the fuck, man? Like, I always enjoyed Jericho. I always liked him, but not anymore. Yeah. Like, not anymore. Like, bro, retire, leave, like, get your Hall of Fame ring, because you know that's what you're doing. You're going to be back in WWE one day for your Hall of Fame ring. Mm-hmm. So, just might as well. I can't believe you are the FTW champion, which is fucking ridiculous. But let's talk about the big main thing that happened on Dynamite. And that is for 5 years now. For 5 years, I have said I always wanted Tony Khan to take a bump. And I've always joked, saying Tony Khan should take a bump. Even though he never wanted to be an on-screen character, Tony Khan should take a bump. Because it will look like shit, but man, it would be funny. And
it was funny.
5 years later, it looked like shit, and it was funny. Because Tony Khan took a bump. Lyssie, I'll let you take the reins of this whole segment here.
Let me tell you about my favorite people on the fucking planet. So... we'll start at the very beginning because I was actually talking about the other day to Dylan about how I miss when AEW would do the episode-long storylines. So, cars pull up. The beautiful executive vice presidents, Nicholas and Matthew Jackson, accompanied with our Continental Champion, Okada, come out of a car. And they're walking in the arena. And then another car pulls up. And lo and behold, our scapegoat, our hero, Jack Perry, walks out of this car. And walks into the arena with the Elite. And Nick's like, cameraman, follow us around because we got some business to attend to. Later on in the show, they're walking into Tony Khan's office. They're going to talk to him. Later on in the show, they're coming out of the office. I don't remember what his name, but the one interview guy.
Alex Marvez, thank you.
Is trying to get word in. Jack Perry walks by him. Nicholas walks by him. Okada walks by him. Matt stops. And Matt's like, look, I don't really know what's going on.
Is Matt the leader of the Elite?
Matt is the leader of the Elite. I don't know how it happened, but he just is. And Matt's like, look, can't really talk about what's going on, but Tony's going to be making an appearance in the middle of the ring to talk with Jack Perry about everything. So, end of the night, at the main event type spot and whatnot, Jack Perry comes out to the ring, no music, just walks out to the ring, looking smug as fuck. He's out there talking about, everything, and he calls out Tony. And he's like, Tony, I want you to come down to this ring, and I want you to talk to me face to face, and I want to sort this shit out. So, Tony, I'm assuming, this is my own belief as to what's happening, because it took him a solid second to get out there, is essentially just being shoved by Matt and Nick to come out to the back, and they're like, just go, it's gonna be great, just go, it's fine. So Tony, waltzes down to the ring, and, he doesn't have a microphone or anything, walks into the ring, hands clasped in front of him, just like, hey guys, what's up? Perry's on the mic, and he's like, look, I've always had the best interest of AEW in mind. I've always wanted to do what was best for AEW. Reinstate me, and let's go on to continue to change the world.
The handshake.
No hesitation. Tony Khan's like, yeah, buddy, let's dab up. I'm gonna handshake you.
Was the
fucking
funniest shit.
Diving in with this handshake, and he's like, yeah, don't say no more, buddy. I'm convinced. Handshake, hug. Perry's got this look on his face, the same look he had after he was unmasked, holding up Tony's hand, everything. They're like, yay, we're friends again. And then Perry's like, psych, bitch, and fucking takes the microphone and gut punches him with the fucking microphone. Tony
falls like a wet noodle.
About 2 seconds too late, sells it, falls like a wet noodle, just collapses.
No, he got hit in the stomach, and he fell on time. He sold getting hit in the stomach because he falls, takes the bump, and then he's laying there for like 5 seconds, and then he grabs his stomach.
He's just a little bit off time with it, but nonetheless, it didn't need to be good. He's not a wrestler.
No.
But it wasn't good.
It was funny.
It was hilarious. And then...
It was a Tony Khan bump of... If you know how Tony Khan is, this is what you expected.
And then out come the Elite and Okada and whatever, just running down to the ring.
They're like, oh my god.
And they're like, Jackalus. Jackalus Perry. Jackson Perry. Oh my goodness gracious, what have you done? How could you do this? Why did you do this? You need to calm down, my guy. And then, the Bucks are trying to help Tony up, and they have him in position for the EVP trigger. And everyone's like, oh, and they're sitting there thinking about it, and they're like, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. They get him up, and then Matt's like, psych, bitch! And then they put him in for the Tony Khan driver, and Nick goes to the top, and they Tony Khan driver, Tony Khan.
And he's laying there like
he's dead.
Like he's laying there like he is
like he
dead.
Is a corpse. He's dead. And then the Elite are like, yay, we had a great show. Thanks everyone for coming. Woohoo! And then everyone from the locker room's coming out.
Dante Martin was the first
responder, came out, and everyone's like, oh my good gracious, what is going on here? And then the biggest pop of the night, Shad Khan comes out, and he's like, what in the fuck is going on? We have the NFL draft tomorrow. What is happening? And then, that cuts the screen with Shad Khan being on the television, making his AEW debut.
Oh, man.
It is the greatest fucking thing that has ever happened to me in my entire fucking life.
It was bound to happen. I enjoyed it, and that's coming from a CM Punk fan. Like, this is coming from a CM Punk fan. I enjoyed this segment because it was just fucking funny. It furthered, like, a storyline of, like, the Elite are, like, gonna run things. Like, they're gonna do whatever the fuck they want and everything. And props to Tony Khan. He's the Booker of the Year for simply keeping Kayfabe alive at the NFL draft because motherfucker sitting there with a neck brace on.
So good.
And then he did an interview, which... Let's talk about the interview.
Still with the neck brace on. And, like, he was selling it and everything. I can't believe that they mentioned... first they said it was the Meltzer driver, and then they were like, and then they renamed it the Tony Khan driver on the NFL Network. Yeah. On the
NFL Network, the Meltzer driver and Tony Khan driver, and they showed the footage.
And Tony even said, he's like, well, now they renamed it. They've renamed it a couple months ago to the Tony Khan driver, and it's kind of ironic when you think about it.
It was mentioned on the NFL Network, but he compared Pepsi and Harvey Weinstein, and
So
he should have. Go ahead.
Well, hold on. He specifically said that, you know, AEW is like this startup company and they're up against the evil juggernaut, which is the WWE, and AEW is the Pepsi in pro wrestling, and WWE is the Harvey Weinstein of pro wrestling.
Which, before the trolls come after me or Lyssie...
Oh, it's already been done, man.
But before... What I'm about to say, before everyone... Like Stone Cold Steve Austin coming out right now. But before everyone comes after us... He's not wrong. I get what he was trying to say, but I think he should have chose better words.
We don't have to say everything at work.
I think he should have chose better things. Even, like, if you go watch the interview, the NFL analysts, like, the interviewers, were like, okay, anyway.
Yeah.
It's like, they were trying to, like, whoa, okay, that's a little too much.
Like, he should have said something along the lines of, like, we're the Pepsi and they're the Walmart brand.
Or they're the Coke or something.
If he really wants to just, and they're the Walmart brand Mr. Cola or whatever.
Like
he shouldn't have said it.
I get what he was trying to say. Again, he's not wrong with the lawsuits and if you know what Harvey Weinstein did and all of that.
And the fact that WWE did hire Harvey Weinstein's PR firm.
Yeah, he should have just chose better words, but... I'm not defending the guy. I'm not defending WWE either. It's Tony Khan being Tony Khan. He has said ridiculous things before, but Vince McMahon has also said and done ridiculous things, but better words should have been chosen, and
yes,
a lot of trolls came after Lyssie.
Yeah,
so let's go into that now.
So he shouldn't have said it, and I never said that he should have said it.
Yes.
However, I made a post which a lot of people did agree with me on. Got about 700 likes, 55,000 views, which is fucking crazy.
It blew up.
But basically my tweet said that if you are more mad about Tony Khan saying what he said than the actual ongoing investigation in WWE, you need to get your priorities straightened out. And I've said to a couple people a few times in comments that I've gotten saying, I don't agree that he should have said it. I don't think that it was smart that he should have said it. However, there are people that are on this internet more up in arms over the fact of this comparison of what Tony Khan said than they have ever been mad about with the investigation going on in WWE. And again, I'm not trying to pit two things of like, well, one's worse than the other type of thing, but nonetheless, it kind of is. Because, again, he shouldn't have said it. It was stupid to fucking say it. However... if you're more mad about a stupid fucking comment and a shitty fucking comment than the company that you are gonna fucking dick ride with these fucking investigations, and mind you, there were a couple people that, like, I had a genuinely, like, pretty decent conversation with. One person, which, you know, no tea, no shade to them at all, they made a comment on my post saying, like, well, Vince is being sued. And I'm like, no, the whole company's being sued. Like, it's WWE versus Janelle Grant and everything. I'm like, it's not just Vince, it's the whole company. And they were like, oh, shit. Like, my bad, I didn't know that. So, like, there's people that don't know that. And the fact of the matter is that there's so many people that were in the comments that I'm, like, a lot of them I wasn't even gonna fucking, pick an argument with. Because I was like, I can tell what your motives are about this. I'm not even gonna fucking worry about it. But the amount of people in the comments that were like, well, it's a Vince McMahon situation, that don't even know that the lawsuit is against the whole WWE. That's a problem, and that's saying enough that this fucking lawsuit doesn't have enough fucking coverage because these fucking fans are either uneducated about it and don't know what they're talking about, or they're just blind and null to it, which is both a fucking problem no matter which way you fucking slice it.
Yeah.
Like, this should be plastered all over the fucking place. If you don't know enough about... We're not going to go into detail about the investigation. If you don't know information about what's going on somehow, and you want a good video to watch about it, I would recommend Repzilla's video about it.
Yeah.
I think he titled it, like, The Most Evil Man in wrestling or in the world or something. If you just go to Repzilla's page and scroll down till you see a picture of Vince McMahon, he did a fantastic fucking deep dive about this whole situation. So I would recommend go watch him.
Yeah, you had me watch it, right?
Yeah, we watched it. If you want more information about it, if you don't want to like just stifle through documents and everything, he did a really good job with it.
Yeah.
But my point is like, there's people that don't know what they're arguing about, and that is the exact demographic that I was targeting with this fucking post, and it worked because I pissed off everyone that I was targeting. Good job, Lyssie.
Yeah.
But people were trying to come for me. Apparently, some dude that has like a decent like following, like posted a picture of my profile picture, which is a picture of me and Hangman, and was like, the guy in your profile picture is friends with Marty Scurll. And I'm like, it's insane to me that people still think that the Elite and Hangman are still friends with fucking Marty Scurll. Because it's the same people that will argue and say, well, All Elite is all friends wrestling. And if they really were, Marty Scurll would have been AEW by now.
And so would Flip Gordon.
He would have been one of the first fucking people that they would have fucking brought in. Like, not only is there no fucking factual evidence that they're still friends with each other, but it is just pretty cut and dry that they do not associate with him at all anymore. Like, I even took it so far to go to Marty Scurll's Instagram and scroll through and just look at his likes. And Hangman, Matt, Nick, none of them fucking popping up liking any of his goddamn shit.
There was a recent thing, too. I forget where I saw it. It was a Marty Scurll post on Instagram, and like someone commented saying, "Why aren't you working with AEW? Your friends work there," and he comments saying they don't have the hiring power, or something like that.
They also wouldn't hire him.
Yeah,
like they don't hang out with him. They don't talk. Like, he posted a picture of him and Hangman. I think even tagged Hangman. Hangman didn't even fucking like it. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where it's just like they have very clearly not associated with him for the longest fucking time. And people were trying to dunk on me about that, and I'm like, dude, it's the same people that, like, they're gonna try and find any sort of thing that they want to argue about that they're so ungodly, uneducated about, because their whole motive is just, I hate these people, so I'm gonna just dig up literally anything that they have done in their past in the slightest to dunk on them and hate them for it. So, and there's just a lot of people just being like, oh, well, you know, your priorities aren't straight because you have a Young Bucks tattoo, or this, that, and the other. As people were like, oh, your pronouns on here are they, them, so we know what you're all about. You have a safety pin in your name, so we know what you're all about, type of thing. And I'm like, you can't even come up with fun, creative shit, so, like, I'm not even gonna fucking bat an eye at you. Like, I quite literally do not give a single fuck. The people that I am pissing off are the people that I would never want to fucking associate with in the fucking slightest. So I am so glad that I'm pissed off and you don't like me. There was also one person that fucking blocked me immediately after I fucking quote tweeted them when they were like, they're like, there's no investigation going on, WWE. And I just took a screenshot of, like, the first part of the fucking lawsuit, and I said 67 pages, but go off, I guess, and then they blocked me immediately.
That's funny.
And I'm like, you have to actually be that fucking stupid to think that there's no investigation going on when it has been very well known. But, yeah, no, super fucking funny that, like, and see, again, it just goes back to it as, like, you are more mad at me about this comment than you actually are about the investigation going on. And people were just trying to say, like, oh, you're just using this to, like, you know, just seem like a better person. You don't actually care about the victims or this, that, or the other thing. And I have been so incredibly vocal about this investigation and about sharing stuff on my Twitter, talking about it on the podcast, talking about it on TikTok so many fucking times that it's like, you can say what you want to say because clearly you don't follow me. You don't know me. You don't care about anything that I post. You're just trying to fuel your own fucking agenda on this type of shit. So, like, yeah, make your own opinion about me. Or form your own fucking opinion. I don't care.
Too. Like, we're watching, like I said in the beginning of the episode, I've been on a kick of watching, like, Ruthless Aggression era stuff.
Yeah.
This is the era of when the divas were on the cover of Playboy, and
Fucking stupid.
Vince had Trish Stratus stripping down, barking like a dog,
Fucking
and
stupid.
like Lissy can confirm. I'm here watching it. I'm like, why? Why did they do this? Like, to this day, I'm like, why? How did they get away with this?
It's so fucking stupid, and like the fact that it was just so clearly and blatantly in front of everyone's face, like the whole fucking time, about how Vince actually viewed women.
Yeah.
But because it was quote unquote a different time, you know, it's shitty to say, because like growing up on it, and growing up also in like the time of YouTube with like shock value and shock factor being like the main source of entertainment, like no one ever batted an eye about it. And like, you know, you could even toss in, this is gonna be a real fucking weird segue off onto something completely different, but it's kind of similar. You hear so much now about like back in like the emo scene culture when it was really booming in the 2000s, about like certain things that would go on with like certain bands, and you know,
I was gonna do a comparison of me and Lissy were once fans of Marilyn Manson.
Oh well, yeah, that
like,
too.
I like that's what I was gonna compare.
But like, you know, like I mean, the best one to fucking even just compare to is Blow on the Dance Floor.
Oh God.
With all like the young underage girls that would be coming up on stage and doing these acts, and like the band members gesturing certain ways towards these young girls.
I never thought Blood on the Dance Floor would be mentioned on this podcast, but here we are.
Let me finish my statement. And you know, like no one batted an eye, because in the scene, like, and the culture at the time, it was so normal.
Yeah.
And not that it was ever right, because, you know, pedophilia has always been bad since day one. But like, it was so normal in the culture, and because of the dynamics between these band members and these young girls who idolize these people, it seemed like the coolest thing to do. And then when you grow up later on, you realize, no, that was fucked up. But again, because of the surrounding culture, and with the surrounding culture in WWE, it's kind of the same thing of just like, you know, you see all these things of all these women that they were forced to do, or else they weren't going to have a job, and it was just normalized to the degree where it should never have been. And, you know, I'm glad that as like time has gone on, that things have changed for the better, and all these old heads want to argue and say that like, oh no, wrestling was better back in the day when we had the bra and panty matches. No, the fuck it wasn't. It never was. These women were all, some of these women were just brought in because they were beautiful women. But some of these women were legitimately fucking talented wrestlers who deserved to have the fucking time like the guys had the time. But because they were pretty, they had to do all this stupid fucking shit to be eye candy. And it really took a lot, and like we're still not where we should be with women's wrestling. Women's matches deserve more respect and deserve more time, and honestly, Stardom's so fucking ahead of the game. You know what I mean?
We're getting there.
But we're getting there, and we're in a way better place now, but, you know, there's still work to be done.
Yeah.
And I think, realistically speaking, for women in wrestling and women's wrestling in general, the best thing that needs to be coming out is how important this fucking lawsuit is and be brought to light. And the fact that Tony Khan went on the NFL Network and brought enough attention to it to make people fucking talk about it. Look,
yeah,
it wasn't smart. It wasn't smart of what he said, and I'm not going to sit here and say that it was the best fucking comparison that he could have made. But honestly, if I was Tony Khan, I'd take the fucking slack for it and the heat for it if it means getting more eyes on the fucking investigation and more people fucking talking about it and showing how fucking serious of an issue it is.
Yeah.
Because, like, it needs to be. It should be covered by, like, it should be covered by news stations. It should be not only just the wrestling news. It should be on, like, worldwide televised news stations.
But also you gotta look into, like, I'm not trying to defunct everything you were saying or anything. We also gotta take into account of, look who's Tony Khan has hired, too.
Oh, yeah, no, and look.
Ric Flair, Jericho.
I have also always.
Stuff like that.
Like, it's not just on my end of just being anti-WWE and not liking WWE and not it being my cup of tea. I have also been incredibly vocal about certain people that Chris Jericho has hired and certain things that he has done.
Tony Khan
has hired and certain things that he has done, i.e. Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho running a wrestling promotion.
Like I just said earlier, as soon as the allegations came out, he should have been fucking fired.
Yeah.
Tony Khan should have never hired Ric Flair.
Yeah.
He should have never fucking hired Ric Flair. Ric Flair should have never been on fucking TV. He should have never been brought back onto the mainstream fucking television. Honestly, I would even say as a startup company, Sammy should have gotten into more fucking trouble than he did for the comments he made about Mercedes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the only one he really did right with was
Jimmy
Havoc
yeah.
and Jake Atlas.
Yeah.
Jake Atlas.
Yeah.
Those are the only two he actually did right with. And
there's Brian Kendrick wasn't sexual assault or whatever.
Yeah, Brian Kendrick he pulled quick.
That was something completely other.
But my point in all this is like he's done it before, where he's seen the allegations and he's done something about it and gotten rid of these people. And I get it that Ric Flair and Chris Jericho have bigger name value to them.
Yeah.
But to me, that shouldn't fucking matter. Chris Jericho, he's washed. He's been washed. He needs to get the fuck out. We're done. We're over it. The fans are over it. The fans don't want to see him. Even if they don't, even the fans that are shitbags and don't give a fuck about the assault allegations, they're over his fucking gimmick. They're over his wrestling. They don't want him there.
No one wants to see Jericho.
The Ric Flair look, I get it. I get it for Sting. I understand. But there's got to be some sort of moral compass here. Ric Flair added no value. I don't give a fuck about the energy drink. He showed no fucking value to the goddamn fucking product at all. He was just there. And I'm glad the Young Bucks beat him up. Like,
honestly,
that was the best thing that came out of the Ric Flair thing, was that the Young Bucks beat him up. He has shown absolutely nothing to AEW. The most he has done is piss the fans off.
Yeah.
And I don't understand what the point was. Again, I get it for Sting, but Sting has had many other fucking people in his goddamn career that we could have brought in.
Bro, they could have had, like, Lex Luger.
Yeah. We could have done literally anything. It didn't... I'm sorry if you hear the sirens. I'm getting arrested for my crimes against Ric Flair, apparently.
Tony Khan's paying for his crimes.
Tony Khan's going to go pay for his crimes.
For many things that we're going to get into later.
No, like, it's never just going to be, like... Again, just because I'm not a fan of the WWE product, or very little bit of the WWE product, it's not like a hate brigade against one company. It goes, like, the same thing, like I said earlier in the episode about injuries. This goes for all fucking companies. Every single last fucking one of them. I don't give a fuck how big or how small you are. You should not be employing these people. Because, again... We're doing better with women's wrestling as to the time on TV and whatever, but we are not doing any better with women's wrestling if we are not taking women's safety into account.
Yes.
And it needs to be taken into account, and it needs to be taken fucking seriously. So that's really all I got to say about it, is just going completely back to the beginning of this. Tony, yeah, you should have chose your words better. You should have said things better. I get it. I know what you were going for. You're not necessarily wrong with the statement that you made. You just shouldn't have said it. But if at the end of the day, this brings light onto the lawsuit, you know what? This lawsuit does need to be shown more to light. It really fucking does, because we have uneducated, stupid fucking smart marks on the goddamn fucking internet thinking that they know everything, and they're saying this and they're saying that because they're on this fucking hate brigade. And it's time to fucking humble people. Yeah. It's time to fucking humble these people, and it's time to fucking take these allegations fucking seriously. And Tony, again, that goes for you. Like, it is a saying of, like, don't throw stones in glass houses, because you still have a lot of fucking work to do with your own fucking roster.
Yeah.
But I get it. You know what I mean? I get it.
Just choose your words better.
Choose your words better. And you know what? We can honestly just go back and blame the Young Bucks for it, because they did drop him on his head. So maybe this is all the Young Bucks' fault. It's also the Young Bucks' fault that we traded our 17th pick in the fucking draft. Or 17th spot, whatever the fuck it is. It's their fault. Whatever. I don't know. The guy that we picked seems really happy that he's with the Jags, though. So
speaking of the draft, let's talk about SmackDown, and let's talk about part 1 of the draft. What was the fucking point?
Who got drafted?
Yeah, exactly. Who got drafted?
I think we pulled up someone from NXT, and
Braun went to Raw.
And Nia went to SmackDown.
Supposedly, we'll have to see tomorrow. Supposedly, there's going to be more call-ups and more switching of brands. So we just got to wait and see. It was just weird. It was funny seeing, like, Teddy Long and the Dudleys and all like the legends and stuff. But I like it. Just fucking switch brands, goddammit. It was a weird episode of SmackDown.
What if we take this wrestler and move him over there?
Yeah, like, the draft concept's always been weird and everything, but
it just feels like, I mean, and honestly, the time frame even showed it. There was like 20 minutes of wrestling on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And I mean, I see people dunk. I'm dunking a little bit, not gonna lie, just because it's fun. Like which we'll get into Collision in a second, but Swerve's match on Collision went longer than the entire amount of wrestling that happened on SmackDown. Did it really? It did.
That's crazy.
SmackDown, there was like 20 minutes, and I think Swerve's match went like 21 minutes.
I was gonna say, like, speaking of matches on SmackDown, let's talk about the longest match that went 8 minutes, because I saw that it went 8 minutes, and that was Cody versus Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes got called up. Well, he was already kind of called up already, but he's now officially called up on the SmackDown roster. Seems like they have big plans for him.
Hope so.
He got thrown into Ghost,
stop scratching at the walls. We are doing a podcast right now.
Anyway, he got thrown into the main event match against the WWE champion, Cody Rhodes. It was a pretty good match.
Can you get him to stop scratching the wall? What was that?
I threw an empty water bottle.
Dylan!
Not at him, at the ground to scare him.
Did he move?
Yeah, he moved.
Okay.
But I did not throw a water bottle at the cat, on the record here. But Cody versus... It was a pretty good match. Obviously, I wish they went a little bit longer. There was a scary incident that happened. It looked like Cody fucked up his shoulder, but I think he's okay. It seems like he's okay. But
I see people dunking on that spot a lot, and people are like, they botched it. And I don't think they botched it. I think the whole point of it was they were... like, kind of like the idea of two people going for a clothesline and they both hit it, but two people going for a fucking cutter and neither of them hitting it.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't think it was a botch. I think it was just kind of... it was a little silly, but it was fun.
It was something, but it was a pretty good match. I can't wait to see more of Carmelo Hayes. And Cody is officially on SmackDown because he is the WWE champion, and that's exclusive to SmackDown.
Yeah.
So, pretty cool. Hopefully that they have better... hopefully the draft is better tomorrow on Raw.
Yeah.
When we're recording this again on Sunday and everything. Let's move into Collision. The only thing that I have written down from Collision is the Grizzled Young Vets made their debut against, unfortunately, the Acclaimed. Well, Max Caster. Everyone loves Anthony Bowens.
Yep.
Fuck Max Caster and fuck Billy Gunn, but most importantly, fuck Max Caster.
Yeah.
No one likes him. Everyone hates him. He needs to fucking just split up the Acclaim, bro.
Yeah, give Anthony Bowens a singles run.
Yeah.
That sucks because I like the Acclaim a lot, but it's ever since he started like just being a fucking idiot on the internet and just I don't know. I don't know what the fuck he's doing.
He needs to fucking go away. And it's fucking... The shit that he says too is disgusting. Like when you were talking about the fucking Twitter discourse and everything, yeah. I was on Twitter, and I'm not gonna mention anyone's names, but I will just say redhead. Mm-hmm. So you know who I'm talking about. But I didn't know this until like recently because I saw like a whole discourse about it. She has an OnlyFans page.
Yeah, yeah.
Max Caster tweeted out to her saying, "I like your OnlyFans page."
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I know that she's been going through it, man. I don't know if she still does have the OnlyFans. I think she said she used to do it, but I don't know if she does it anymore. But there was...
I think she does, because she responded to it, and it seemed like a snarky, fuck you comment, but she was like, new stuff's up right now or something.
But I know she had some of her shit leaked.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember what it was. If it was when she was that video went out and she was calling out Christine.
It was So the discourse I was talking about was, this is how I found out that she had it. I didn't see anything like leaked photos or anything, but I think it was when Jack Perry returned, she got caught in the background. And
it was because of that.
And she was just being a fan, and like made like a face of like kind of like a.
Well, she doesn't like Jack Perry. Yeah, of course she's going.
She was kind of just making like a face of like like type of thing, and like everyone was like, redhead CM Punk.
Everyone gets mad at her because she acts like a fan.
Yeah, like redhead CM Punk girl.
She's a fan and she does fan things.
And then supposedly someone leaked her shit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I mean. People were like, oh my god, she's the new Miz girl. And I'm like, oh, come on. Come on. Hey, look. But, no, I mean, whatever. You know, it is what it is.
But Max Caster's a piece of shit.
Yeah, fuck Max Caster. And hope she's doing alright.
All my homies hate
she's fucking going through it, man.
All my homies hate Max Caster. Fuck Max Caster. It was and unfortunately, I hate that they're fucking doing this constantly. It was a 3-hour fucking thing again.
Yeah, because of the
NBA
basketball.
Or whatever. So there was Rampage afterwards, and the only good thing about Rampage was Trent Beretta versus Chuck Taylor in a parking lot brawl.
Trent Beretta breaking the rules.
There was real glass, and there was cars.
There was light
tubes. There was blood. I wish they
when Jack Perry puts someone through a windshield, it's a problem, and he gets sent to New Japan for 8 months.
I wish they went a little bit longer, but I understand why they probably didn't, because Chuck's ankle is actually fucked up.
Yeah, it's probably not still back at 100%.
So it seems like they wrote off him, too, because, man, that closing segment, fuck.
Yeah, the wrench to the fucking ankle and the glass shattering and everything, and... Ghost, why are you sniffing at our stand? What are you doing? What are you doing, fat fuck?
He's gonna piss on my notes.
Little baby. Little chunky baby.
What did you think? But let's go. What did you think of the Grizzled Young Vets, too?
I like them. They do fancy, fun, cool, like, technically stuff.
Yeah.
So, I like them. They're fun.
And then, what did you think of the parking lot brawl?
I always love a parking lot brawl. I always love, like, a fucking ridiculous-ass, fucking stupid, hardcore,
I wish they had Sue involved.
I do wish that Sue fucking ran over Chuck, or not Chuck, Trent, but that would have been funny. That would have been funny. I mean, yeah, I wish they went a little bit longer, but I understand. You know, it is what it is. But they fucked each other up, dude, with the time that they had. They fucked each other up.
Oh, yeah, they just beat the fuck out of each other. I still think their 60-second Iron Man match was better.
Yeah.
But, yeah. But that's pretty much with all the wrestling, and I'm the host, so... Wrestler of the Week?
Okay. Well, that means that we're almost close to the end of this, and that means I can eat a snack.
Yes.
Because I'm hungry. Dylan.
Yes.
Who the fuck is your Wrestler of the Week?
The Wrestler of the Week. You can't see my shirt, but it's the guy on my shirt. It's the excellence of...
Stop sniffing our fucking microphone.
Execution. The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. Bret the Hitman Hart. Yes, ask me questions about Bret the Hitman Hart.
All right. When was your first exposure to Bret Hart?
It was Shawn Michaels documentary, going back to like the very first episode of these podcasts of like that teacher that always gave me wrestling DVDs and everything. Mm-hmm. It was like a Shawn Michaels documentary, and it was the Montreal Screwjob thing.
So you saw him get screwed, and you're like, this poor guy?
I didn't know what it was all about until like later on in life.
Yeah.
And whatnot, but I saw this guy and I was like, he's wearing black and pink. That's pretty cool. And then I watched, I think on that DVD, it was like a best of Shawn Michaels or whatever. And on that DVD, there was the 1 hour Iron Man match between Bret and Shawn from WrestleMania 12. And then obviously just me, YouTube, WWE Network too, when it came out, and DVDs, discovering Bret Hart, and was like, man, I really fucking love this guy. This guy is cool as shit. Like, I like this guy. He's really cool. And then, like, learning about the Hart Foundation, the Hart family, Owen, and all of that was like, man, this guy had it rough.
What, like, specifically drew you to him? Was it just, like, the gear? Like, was it, like, when you started watching him wrestle, or...?
The gear and the way he wrestled.
Okay.
Like, I always gravitated towards high flyers and all that too and everything, but like watching him, especially like gravitating towards high flyers and all that, watching Bret Hart was a complete different fucking thing.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy is different. I I understood at like a very young age why he was called the Hitman and like why the finisher was called the Sharpshooter. I was like, oh, that makes sense and everything. And I always just gravitated towards him. And this household will forever be a Bret Hart household. And like, obviously, watching his interviews of ripping in the Goldberg and ripping in the Vince and
fuck Goldberg,
all of that shit. And like, I just always gravitated towards Bret, and I always loved Bret Hart. And to this day, I fucking love Bret Hart. To this day, like, Bret Hart's fucking simply great, bro.
I just remembered I have big cookies.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about Bret Hart.
I know, I just thought about it.
Ask me more questions about Bret Hart.
I think I know the answer, but what's your favorite Bret Hart match?
Him versus Owen.
Yeah, I figured.
From WrestleMania.
I figured that's what it was.
Another one is him and Mr. Perfect. That was a good one, too. Bret and Shawn, of course, too. Another good one was from Canadian Stampede in Your House. Team USA and the Hart Foundation was a really good... It was a 10-man tag.
Would you say that him and Shawn would be, like, your favorite rival of Bret?
No, him and Owen.
Him and Owen? I kind of figured that, but, like...
The story between him and Owen, also, Bret versus Bob Backlund. Fun fact, me and my friend Bryce, we stole the whole finish for one of our matches of him putting me in the crossface chicken wing, throwing in the towel and all that. That's from a Bret Hart Bob Backlund match, and it was kind of funny because that's when Bryce was doing like the Bob Backlund gimmick and everything. So him and Bob Backlund, but him and Owen, like it was just a great story of like Owen breaking out, trying to break out from the shadows of his older brother. He kicked his leg out from his leg, and Owen beating him at WrestleMania, and then they had a great fucking match at SummerSlam in a cage match. And then years down the line, Bret turning heel and saying like the whole purpose of it was like America is turning us against each other because we're Canadian, and him and Owen hugging and joining forces, but as heels. It was so great. Him and Shawn definitely too is a great story because like the best thing of wrestling is when it's real.
Yeah.
And that was real. They fucking absolutely hated each other and everything. Him and Stone Cold too. Him and Stone Cold, like that whole feud was great. If you put an S in front of Hitman, that's exactly what I think of Bret. And Lyssie can confirm. I always say that all the time. I always say that. But him and Bret Hart always been good too. But
I said that earlier, and I said Sheb the Shitman Shark.
Another good match too, because but it leads more so the Bret and Shawn storyline. It was from SummerSlam '97, Bret versus Undertaker. Too was a very good match. Bret hasn't had a bad match. Fuck, him versus Goldberg, probably the worst one.
It's fair.
Or maybe him versus Vince from WrestleMania 26 because Bret couldn't do much.
How do you feel about...
Neither could Vince.
How do you feel about Bret's run in WCW?
They could have done a lot better and a lot more, and there was a lot of missed opportunities, but there was also some good parts about it. Like him versus Sting was always good. Mm-hmm. Him versus Benoit, I'm glad they got that moment. And that was at a time where WCW was complete fucking shit. And Bret was like, look, let us have this match. No outside interference. Give us like 20 minutes. And they did. And Bret is just simply fucking good. Obviously, there was missed opportunities. They could have done something better. I wish we gotten Bret versus Hogan. Another hidden gem from Bret's WCW run was him versus Dean Malenko.
Okay.
Oh, that was a barn burner. Any more questions about Bret the Hitman Hart?
What do you wish that Bret was doing right now?
Honestly, I wish he was like an agent or booking.
That's fair.
Or like a creative or something. Because, man...
I wish he was with FTR.
That, too. Bret fucking being a manager? Mm-hmm. Fuck, man. I hope... Since Punk's in WWE and Bret has a WWE contract, I hope, and Vince is out of WWE, I hope we get like a Bret and CM Punk like on-screen interaction, because that would be really cool. That would be fucking dope. Any more questions?
Not that I could think of.
Bret's simply fucking great, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, like, what more can I say about Bret Hart? He's, like, what do you think about Bret Hart?
I always liked Bret growing up.
Always liked Bret?
Yeah. I mean, I still like him to this day. I mean, again, he wasn't one of the guys that, like, I overly gravitated towards just because, like, again, I always went to, like, more of a high-flying type thing. But, you know, I always liked him.
What, do you have a favorite Bret Hart match?
I mean, I would honestly also agree and say Bret and Owen.
Bret and Owen?
Bret and Owen, hands down. But, yeah, I mean, I also always liked him and Shawn and whatnot, because I always liked Shawn also.
Brett's just one of those guys, like, Brett's literally one of those guys, like, he's all reliable. Put him in the ring, you're gonna have a good match.
I also appreciate that he was the one who got the push after the steroid trials and everything, because they're like, we need to have, like, smaller looking guys.
And Bret wasn't really a body guy.
Yeah, and I feel like he was the best guy, like, suited for that. I'm happy that he got that opportunity type of thing, you know what I mean? But, yeah, that's about as much as I could think about.
Well, on that note,
I get to eat a big cookie.
Let's do our typical outro here. Lyssie, take it away.
Thank you guys so much for listening and watching to this podcast. If you'd like to follow us on Instagram, you could follow us on what the fuck's our handle? Our handle is at Talkin Wrasslin Pod. That is TALKIN_WRASSLIN_POD on Instagram. If for some reason you like me and you like hearing what I say and you want to see more of things that I talk about, you can find me on my Instagram and my Twitter at the same handle, which is Lungtar. That is LUNG_TAR. Instagram, I don't really post a whole hell of a lot, but I post more so on my stories. So, you know, you can keep up to different things on there. It's been a lot of the Elite, as always, but especially with this whole Tony Khan thing going on, it's definitely been a lot of the Elite. And on Twitter, you know, kind of the same thing, along with, you know, me pissing off all the gross wrestling fans, because I like doing that. So that's super cool.
Who would have thought that I'm usually the controversial one on Twitter?
Oh, God, no, dude. I, like, the thing is, like, people see my profile picture with Hangman, and they see the first thing in my bio is I have a Young Bucks tattoo that's, like, enough said type of thing. And, dude, they fucking feed off of it. It's hilarious.
Have you noticed what my profile on Twitter is now?
No.
It's the picture of Dusty Rhodes, Magnum TA, and Jerry the King
your profile
Lawler.
picture, yeah. I thought you meant your bio. Yeah, no. I saw that. But yeah, so if you want to see me piss off some gross wrestling fans, feel free. If you want to try and start an argument with me, feel free. You just got to be clever and good at it. So yeah, and if you want to see my face as I talk as well, I do post on my TikTok, which is Lungbucks. That is LUNG_BUCKS. It's a play on the Young Bucks, of course, because I love them. I haven't really been doing too many like talking videos per se. I've just kind of been doing some like funny stuff more so. But nonetheless, if you want to go find me over there, feel free, have fun. We like to have fun here. Dylan, where can people find you?
Well, I'm gonna do this a little bit out of order than I usually do, because I need to talk about something at the end that involves.
Oh my God, I'm never gonna eat my cookie.
That involves Instagram, but. If you want to follow me on Twitter, good luck. I just said that my profile picture is a picture of Magnum TA, Dusty Rhodes, and Jerry the King Lawler. So if you see a profile picture that pops up like that, chances are that's me. I just don't like giving out my Twitter handle because, to be honest, I hate fucking Twitter. I hate the people on Twitter. I hate the IWC. But I've kind of been pretty calm on Twitter as of late.
Dylan also, I just want to make for note, Dylan also told me to delete my tweet.
I was like, Lyssie.
But I was like, I don't know why you think I need to delete it, because I didn't say anything that's like
I misread
that
it. I misread it. That was the whole thing.
And I was also like, if this does piss off people, it's pissing off the right people. Yeah. So here we are.
But I was like,
Dylan was like, I don't want you to deal with these fucking Twitter people. Delete it. And I was like, I don't care, dude. I've been around the internet for a long time. I don't give a fuck.
I also misread it, and I was like, oh, I get what you're saying now. But if you want to follow me on Instagram, it is Danny Vallo, DANI_VALO_line. You'll see me posting stuff here and there. Most importantly, I just posted something recently. We've talked about it in the past couple of episodes and everything about we were gonna do a reunion show for like our backyard wrestling gang and everything, called One More Time, but that is being canceled. And why is it being canceled, you may ask? It's stupid, silly high school drama bullshit that a lot of us don't want to deal with. When we originally were going to do this show, we were gonna we all agreed. We all agreed that certain people from what our inner circle once was weren't going to be involved because they are shitbags. One's a pedophile, and I don't fucking care that I'm saying that, and if people listen to that and want to fight me on it and be like, no, he's not, well, he fucking is, and there's proof that he is. One's a pedophile, and it's just a mess, and we all agreed that we weren't gonna allow these certain people for this show at all. And Lissy can confirm that as well.
Mm-hmm.
We all agreed that these people were not going to be involved, and I've lost sleep over putting the show together. Lissy fucking worked hard putting promo packages together, and there was only about 4 people out of this whole group that actually really gave a fuck and was actually helping out and doing ideas and everything. There was only like 2 matches announced. Or 3. There was gonna be a hardcore match, and then there was a tag match that I was featured in, and then the main event match. There was gonna be other matches announced and everything, but like none of these fucks. And I don't care that I'm ripping into these people. If you guys are listening to the podcast and you get offended, well, fuck you. You guys are assholes anyway. But you know, the people that do listen to this, shout out to Noah and Tyler. That's who I will say, and Bryce.
Noah and Tyler listen to us?
I know Noah does every once in a while.
Noah, thank you.
Shout out to Noah, Tyler, and Bryce. I love you guys. You guys are my boys. You guys did nothing wrong. I'll even say Stone, too. Stone and Chris and Ivan, too. I'll give them credit as well. Those are the people that did nothing wrong in this or anything. But for the people that pushed having these pieces of shit onto the show and everything, and Dr. Ref.
Oh, we love Doc.
We love Doc. But to the people that that were pushing to have these people involved in the show and everything, well, guess what? You guys won. You guys can run your own stupid fucking Killing the Business show and have a shitty fucking show in that shitty out of shape fucking ring. Sorry, Bryce, but the ring's almost 10 years old and it's seen better days.
Bryce knows.
He knows. But good luck wrestling in a ring that's missing a fucking board. Good luck trying to find the fucking money because none of you guys have a fucking job. I don't care that I'm ripping into them. I really don't. But good luck. You guys can have the show. I'm not, and go ahead, put words in my mouth and say that I'm taking the show away from you when I'm not. Go watch the video on my Instagram. I literally say in the video, you guys can have the show if you want, because the ring is literally in your guys' backyard. Go right ahead. I don't care. I don't want to be involved, and the people that I pretty much mentioned don't want to be involved. And if they want to be involved, they probably just want to wrestle each other, which I don't blame them or anything. And I won't hold it against them if they want to wrestle each other or anything. But the show's not going to be One More Time. The show's not going to be a KWA or DCW reunion show. And I hope you know that this sucks. I'm disappointed. I'm not hurt by it. It's okay that, like, I've already said it before. I'm able to swallow the pill that I'm never going to wrestle again. It's whatever. It's fine. It's whatever. But I hope you know that I put a lot of hard work into this. So did Lissy. So did Bryce. And so did other people. But you guys just want to be children and ruin a good thing. Like what usually happens. What's always happened. So all I got to say on that is fuck you guys. If you guys want to come after me and message me or whatever, good luck, because I'll just fucking block you, because I just don't want to deal with your ass, and I never want to see you guys again, because you guys are honestly pieces of shit. Lissy, you have anything to say about it?
I mean, I'm just disappointed, but here's the thing, like, I also said, like, from the get-go, when the situation of said person said whatever, showed up at the first kind of like, gathering.
Yeah, which I didn't agree with at all.
And I'm glad I wasn't there because I just opted out to not go that day because I was like, I just kind of want a day to me. So you go have fun and do your thing, and then you came back and told me that this person was there. And I'm like, I'm really glad I didn't go because there's no way I would have been able to keep my composure, and I probably would have caused a really big fucking problem.
Yeah, let's bring in a guy that ruined the whole fucking company. You guys are fucking idiots.
I said to Dylan, I was like, since I was the camera person, I was like, look, if he's a part of the show, I'm not going to be there. I don't want to film this. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to be around him. I don't want anything to fucking do with him. And I've had this inkling about him, about just in general being a piece of shit, since the first issue ever occurred.
Yeah, he's a liar. He manipulates people.
Yeah, and I saw right fucking through him. The first time that there was a situation that occurred, and after, the way that, like, because, long story short, I won't go too much into detail about it, but there was a situation that happened, and, we drove up to his house to get a belt back from him. And, because we were like, you're done. We're not doing this shit. And you guys went up there fully certain we're done with this. He's not, no, this is the reason we're going to get this belt because we don't want him to have it. We don't want him holding it hostage, yada, yada. And then I stayed in the car.
For the record, this wasn't my call. I was kind of like...
That's true. Yeah.
I was kind of the third guy in this.
That's true.
Because this was not my company.
But, yeah. But I stayed in the car because I was like, I don't want to deal with this. And I know myself, and I'm a bitch. So to not cause any more issue, I'm going to stay out of this, and I'm just going to stay in the car and chill until you guys get back. And you guys were there for a while. And I knew that while you were here for a while that there was something going on. And when you guys came back and were basically like, everything's cool, we talked it out, and were telling me all about it.
And this is, for the record, this is before we found out that this guy was a pedophile.
Yeah, this was
way before.
Way before any of that came out. My first immediate reaction was, I don't agree with it. I think that he's just lying through his teeth. From the way that you guys are explaining this to me and telling me this, he is manipulating you, he is lying, he knows how to get away with this type of shit. He has also not been very, like, well to hide it, that he knows how to get around things and knows how to get his way. And has kind of been very prevalent about it. And I'm like, look, I see right through this. I know he's not sincere. I know he's just saying this because he got caught. I know he's just saying this because... I don't even remember what the initial issue was. But whatever the issue was... It wasn't anything of, like, pedophilia or anything like that. But it was...
He was lying about something.
He was lying about something, and it was, like, enough to make us be like, no. And I was like, I know that he's lying through his teeth. I know that he's just trying to manipulate you guys to get his way back into this because all he wants to do is just fucking backyard wrestling. He doesn't give a shit about who he steps, like, toes on or who he's pissing off or who he's upsetting.
And I'm not going to mention who, like, was like, okay, we can have him. I'm not going to mention who it was, but the guy, he's, what's the word I'm looking for? He's nice.
Yeah.
He's not.
Like he wants to give the benefit of the doubt and the second chance, which I understand, and I get that. And
he's a nice guy.
I even was like, I might be being too harsh, but working retail, like being around all different kinds of people and just working with all different kinds of people, you get to know the type of personalities.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is cut and dry, and maybe I'm just being, like, over suspicious about it. But if you guys are, I'm not going to sit here and try and change your mind about it and tell you what to do. But if you're, like, dead set on this, you need to fucking keep your eye out, because I guarantee you this is going to happen again.
And I was kind of just in the position of, like, well, I just kind of just want to fucking wrestle, bro.
Yeah. And ever since that day, which was long before any other situations occurred, any other problems occurred, long before that, I was like, this isn't going to end well. I know this isn't going to end well. I don't like him. I don't want to be around him. I'll be nice to keep face with everyone, but I don't fucking like this guy.
And sure enough, he was the one that pretty much caused DCW to implode. And then the other person that they want to get involved, we revived KWA, and he ghosted us. And me and Bryce, I will mention Bryce, we don't take kindly to that. Like, if you are with us, great. don't say you are with us, and then when we're about to run a show, ghost us, and then the day of the show be like, oh, I can't make it.
Yeah.
Like, don't do that. Unless it's like an emergency, but this wasn't an emergency. You were painting your house? Nah, fuck you, dude.
But yeah, I don't agree with this person being brought back in because again, it's been time and time again there has been issues with this person. This person has caused problems and every single time has attempted and successfully weaseled his way back in just to get what he wants and has clearly shown that he's never necessarily taken into account anybody else's feelings of how he's making them feel and or what he's doing to them. And when the first situation with the get together that happened a couple months ago happened and you told me about it, and you were like, look,
it was a fever dream, bro.
Like, and you talked to Bryce about it, and Bryce was like, if he's there, I'm not a part of the show. And y'all were like, all right, well, he's not gonna be there. He's not gonna be there at all. He's not gonna be a part of the show.
And when I first decided to do this show, and I messaged everyone, I was like, I want to get the gang back together for a reunion show. I want, like, these people are allowed, these people aren't, and these people are questionable because, well, there was other lining problems with certain other people. But if they respectfully decline, cool. If they want to be a part of it, cool. It would be a feeling out process. But these are the people that shouldn't be a part of this show because these people are fucking bad news. And everyone agreed. Even the person that found out that this person is a pedophile was like, yeah, I agree. And then all of a sudden he was like, I'm cool with him. Like, nah, fuck you, dude.
Like, after the first situation of the gathering happened and Bryce was like, I'm not going to be a part of this. And everyone was like, okay, well, this other guy is not going to be a part of this now because Bryce is arguably much more important. It's his ring and it's also his fucking company that we're talking about here. And Bryce needs to be a part of this. And that was that. That was that, and it was told you're not allowed at the show, you're not going to be here. We appreciate that you tried to come and clear the air, but no. And that was that. And the fact that, again, just like every single time before, he's managed to weasel his way back in and weasel his way to manipulate people into thinking a certain way. And now everyone's like, well, actually, what if he is a part of it? And it's like, that just shows that he doesn't actually have any remorse for anything he's done. He doesn't care about how anybody else feels. He only cares about what he wants. And he's going to do whatever it takes to get his way. Yep. Like, it shows he has not changed, and he's not going to change. And no matter how many things he tells you to make you believe that he's going to change, he's not going to. And look, if any of y'all are listening to this and send this to people and are going to be pissed off about
they do.
Be pissed off about it. But I'm trying to be as respectful and nice about it as possible without popping off, because I'm starving and I want a cookie. But I'm trying to be as nice and respectful about it because, like, I genuinely, wholeheartedly believe and I've seen firsthand how this person acts, and I genuinely believe you are all being manipulated and you are all being, like, coerced into just doing whatever this person wants you to do, and you're too blind or too stupid to fucking see it.
And I was going to be nice about addressing this, but soon as I got messages saying that you're taking the show away from us, no, I'm not being nice, because, Lissy, am I taking the show away from them?
No, you guys have the ring.
Yeah,
you can do whatever you want with it. No one's gonna...
You guys are supposedly...
We're not gonna be sitting back in the back of your house guarding the ring, being like, you can't do this.
As we're recording this, I saw someone post on Facebook that, well, before we recorded this, as of today, I saw someone that I'm no longer friends with on Facebook because I just don't want to see their dumbass post anymore, but say, there's wrestling at my house. That's all you have to do, you fucking dumbasses.
Yeah, you're right there with it. No one's going to say you can't hold a show. If anybody, which to my knowledge has not, but if anybody has any sort of authority to say anything about what you do with that ring, it is Bryce, because that's his ring.
Yeah.
Unless he has given it to you. Then it is no longer his ring, and you can do whatever the fuck you want with it. And if Bryce doesn't give a fuck about what you do with the ring, you can do whatever the fuck you want with it. You can run whatever shows you want. It doesn't matter. Like, and again, he is not in the area anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't think he gives two single fucks about what you do with it.
But good luck. In all reality, I'll be nice. Good luck if you guys want to run a show. Go ahead. It's not going to be a KWA or DCW one more time, because I already have text messages from Bryce saying if they do a show, I don't want KWA's name attached to it because Bryce owns the KWA name. And I know for a fact Chris would not want DCW's name mentioned as well. So you guys can run the show if you want. Good luck finding a camera person because we know all of you guys are fucking idiots and don't know how to hold a camera the right way to begin with. I've seen your guys' fucking promos. I've had a fucking hell of a time trying to get you guys to cut promos. And good luck trying to find a referee because I'm sure I know Dr. Ref doesn't want to be a part of it. And good luck trying to edit shit because you guys don't know how to edit shit because you guys are lazy fucking pieces of shit. I'm sorry that I'm being so blunt about this, but it's about time that I be blunt about it.
I just think, again, if any of you are listening to this at all, I think you need to really fucking open your eyes and understand that, like, a normal person, like, there should not be this many issues that surround one person in such a short time frame that just somehow easily get explained away. And to the degree of which these problems are. Like, that is not a normal situation to be in.
Yeah.
That is not a normal way of behavior. And, you know, I think you guys are really being blind to this, and you're really doing a detriment to yourself. And look, again, I can't tell you exactly what to do. I can't tell you or force you to do anything. But I really think that you need to reflect on who this person is, how many problems have surrounded them, and why the problems have surrounded them, and how they managed to weasel their way out of it every single time. Because at the end of the day, this person's gonna fuck you over, this person's gonna fuck on you real fucking hard, and you're gonna be pissed off at yourself for even trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. You're gonna hurt yourself more in the long run trying to associate with this than you really gonna want to be admitting. So, I mean, look, I'm not gonna name any other names, because there's no need to. But I'll just put out there for those of you who know. There's two other people that I used to associate with. One of them, my ex-boyfriend, that you all know very well.
Yeah, fuck both of them too.
And it's kind of the same situation of there was always some sort of situation surrounding them, always some sort of problem surrounding them. And, you know, I was dating one of them, and, you know, I was blind to all these situations surrounding them until it was too late, and I regret being around them. And none of you guys, to my knowledge, none of you guys talk to these people anymore, associate with these people, because you know that they're pieces of garbage that fucked people over multiple times. This is no different. If anything, this is almost an exact same situation to these people that we have prior associated with. So all I'm saying is history repeats itself, and if you get stuck in it, you're going to get stuck in it. But I don't think it's the best thing that you guys could be doing, and it doesn't hold your best interest at heart. So with that being said, I have nothing more to say about this topic. I want to eat a cookie so fucking bad. Do you have anything else to say, Dylan?
Y'all are just dumb and need to grow the fuck up. That's
Fair
all.
enough.
That's all I'll say. Anyway, thank you for joining us, guys.
Yes, thank you.
Sorry about the fucking rant at the end of this episode.
Thank you.
We apologize.
For watching, listening, however you do it. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, share it to your grandparents, share it to your best friends, share it to your friends who might be thinking about running a wrestling show in their backyard with people that are a little shady that you don't trust, because, you know, maybe some of the advice could, be interpreted well to other people. And with that being said, we'll be back next week, of course, with some more Talkin Wrasslin.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. I'm going to go devour a large cookie.
Bye.